Yo ho everybody, good evening and how we doing? Oh, I'd like to say hope you're having yourselves a fantastic weekend, that things went well for you. Nice and relaxing or enjoyable, busy, however you wanted to spend it. I hope you got to spend it the way you did. Alrighty, we have some games lined up for you today. And well, what is a better way to do things than to actually just jump right into it? So, game number one. We've got a few 1 versus 1 games today, so it's going to be a few of them. I'm going to finish up with a team game right at the end of it, but yeah, a bunch of 1v1s. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're going to go for. So we often do the team games more often, to be honest, but hey, 1v1s are fun too. So, without further ado, let's jump into our first game. Ready to go, and as mentioned, 1v1s, they are the flavor of the day. And here we go. It loads and the scene changes over. Sorry, things are not swapping. There we go. Right. Okay. So, 1 versus 1, and it is going to go down on via 3 protectorates. So, interesting on the map, there is a bunch of reclaim in the middle. If you can take out the point defenses first, so you can't just wander an engine, you got to send in an artillery too, just to take out those things, and then you can reclaim away and grab all those mass extractors, and yeah, well worth getting in there if you can, because that's a sizable bit. As far as reclaim does go, while it's dotted all over the map, there's it doesn't look like much in regards to the placements, but when you zoom in, they're absolutely everywhere. Rocks are damn well everywhere. You see, we've actually already got a reclaim order planned from the first thing from Hendrix, and he is actually our first player of the day. I didn't even introduce him. I'm doing so badly. Anyway, Hendrix is our first person we've introduced. He is a 905 ladder player. He is blue, and he is Seraphim, and his opponent today is Yellow Os. We've seen this guy before in some team games. Let's see how it goes in 1 versus 1, and he's rolling out red, and he is Aeon today. And his rating is a 43, so giving up about 60 ranking points on ladder, and let's see what the deal is. So, down here, we see Hendrix is grabbing up some of that. Now, I have seen some versions of this map where the reclaim is just, I mean, there is still a fair amount of reclaim, so you want to get a fair amount of energy out so you don't stall on that. We check over here, we can see, well, Yolon Os has a large PG grid planned, doing pretty much the same thing, got some engines out, doing some reclaim, and he's actually sent out a lab, so looking like he's going to go for some early raiding opportunities rather than being on the defensive. Alrighty, let's just swap these into the right settings because I keep forgetting to do that. Radio. Okay, NGs for Hendrix, so still no units planned for him, and these 2 labs over here are now got an accompanying scout with them, so they'll be able to see NGs at a distance and have a go at them. Another lab in the other way, so looks like Yellow is grabbing a bit more of the combat thing, definitely going for some early raiding, wanting to see if they can maybe go to these 2 spots here and pick up expanding engineers if they are undefended, which is a pretty good shout at the moment. Definitely plan to head to those spots, and we have, yep, NGs plan to roll on over as soon as they're done, and still no combat units out for Hendrix. So I think this is a mistake. I've been recording some voice lines for a tutorial map that is coming out soon, and in 1 versus 1 you always want to get some defending units out. They recommend about, this is stuff I've learned while I've been recording the line, so this is somebody teaching me as well. You want to throw out about, say, 3 or 4 NGs depending on the map size, followed by, you know, like a combat unit like a tank and a scout to protect an expanding NG, and then, you know, another NG to expand the other way, and then another tank scout to protect him. So in the meantime, we still haven't seen a single combat unit out from Hendrix, so I don't know how long he thinks he's going to be left alone, but it's going to be a much shorter time frame than he thinks. Now, this here is the wrong way to do it. You don't send the units in all at once. You actually get your scout to assist one of the tanks or labs, and it will follow them instead and give more accurate intel and not run ahead and die to opposing units. Don't see any tanks yet. There we go, there's a tank. Very first tank coming out off the line for Hendrix, but it's going to be a bit late, and I'm sure he's going to lose this engineer and this engineer. There we go, move orders have come in, and along come labs. Down goes Engie. Same on the other side, there's an Engie, there's the labs, there's a scout, and we're going to see another motor over there. And then the mechs are going to go down, and we're going to see them probably move in and see if they can clean up some of the Engies in the mid, because why wouldn't you? That would be the right idea to do. So you can see up here that Yellow has planned all sorts of power, and he's actually getting a whole bunch of reclaim up the back. He's only sent out those first few raiding units. I take that back, there's a couple more going out now, but he's mainly focused on just causing that little bit of havoc, and it's going to give him advantage in the early game. Haven't been denied those expansions. Now got a problem. You see some tanks going out, although Hendrix does have an air factory, and Yellow has yet to build one, although I believe those are a pair of air factories unless I'm mistaken. But that's okay, looks like those units might get away actually. They will. So up here we have these guys have managed to run away from the defending Tham while these guys are being tracked down. They're going to die, but the other ones are going to get away. Has Hendrix actually seen them with the scout, or they know they're out of range of the scout as well, so he's got zero idea those things are still loitering around the back here. A couple of flares just chilling. They could pick up another engineer or two if they decide to stick around and wait for more to come up, but no, they are on their way. Looks like they might be planning to get around the back here, because this is a common reclaim spot. Why you no finish your factory? There's a whole bunch of trees, give you a bit of an E-boost as well as some mass thrown in, so it's actually a decent spot to throw some engines out and grab some bits in, like exactly as Yellow's doing. Getting the reclaim at the back of the base. Safe reclaim, normally safe reclaim, unless these guys get down and cause some havoc. And you see the air. So Hendrix has got the air, and has he scouted over his opponents? Let's just have a gander. Well, he hasn't. You got the scout, use it, go say hi, and find out what's going on. So scout is rolling around looking for Engies that this bomber could pop, and there's actually nothing around. So Yolo's being a bit slower on the expansion. He did a couple of early raids just to deny the engineers onto there. Then he's focused on just expanding and holding these two spots just to be safe, and just hold them off there. Okay, now we have a little bit of noticeability here. Celine doesn't even open up on the Aurora, ignores it as it rolls on by. Could have had a fun pick there. Alright, bomber is out into the middle, and it's going to go for that. Is a poor idea because the yeah, you just saw why. Might get a bomb off, but it's going to run into all of these anti-air and not get anything else done but a little bit of damage. Up here we see the scout has moved out first, and it dies pretty quickly, although the dam's not going to live much longer anyway because Aurora's far greater in number, going to cause an issue. And down here we see the engine, these labs have got themselves into a spot where they're going to just be able to loiter and pick off Engies if they're not noticed. We have a that's not going to help them much. There's a rally point right here, which means all these Engies are going to be fine. They're just going to pick things at range and not actually get anything else off. Be quite happily there. Alrighty, a small fight going on there. That's going to go the way of the Thams. And got a scout overhead, so there we go. Yolo did get into the air game. In fact, there's two air factories compared to the one. No, I take the back. There are two there for Hendrix, and that's a transport. I wonder if he's going to go do a drop somewhere. Well, there we go. He's picking up some engines. They're going to go. And what's the range of these guys? Well, the range is about that much apparently. Engineer comes out, and the engineer dies. Okay, and it's going to take him. Notice. Still going. Going. And still don't know how many kills. 3 kills. Well, we'll come back and see that guy. We'll check on that. We'll check out the rest of the map for now. And well, this is a solid hold here for yellow. It's got T1 PD down, got a bunch of units, factories going up. Radar, and over in the other expansion, pretty much the same thing. Some units floating around, a T1 PD factory going up with radar and double factory. So, yeah, it looks like he's just concerned on that. And there's some drops out, so he's gone there. Where was that drop from? Oh, let's come up here. There it is, actually. I've spotted the guys are still going. He's got 6 kills now, and he's got 1. Okay, so 6 kills for that guy, 1 for that guy, and a drop sneaking around the back from Hendrix. Will it be noticed? Well, might get spotted there if he was paying attention. He doesn't have radar in his base, so he believes. Although there is a scout right there. That's interesting. That's a failed drop over there. Yes, he's going to drop those engineers right beside some units, and that was poorly scouted. It's 3 engineer deaths. But up here, this drop is actually going to be in range of the scout, so they're going to be spotted. Must be, surely. Right? The units are down, right at the edge. That's one thing. We'll keep an eye on that one too. And this guy's still going down here. What's he up to? 10 kills. This is one of the most efficient labs I've ever seen. 10 kills on that little guy, and I don't know if he's been noticed yet. Like, can Hendrix actually see them there? Well, he should. Although, when the engineer dies, he loses vision, so he's going to have to be looking at the right time. His attention is obviously elsewhere. But that's a lab with all the kills in the world. The guy beside him, not so much. 11, 12 kills. Mental. Alright, up here we see factories going down, we have a radar going up, and the reclaim is a happening. We're going 12 kills, going to make 13. Yes, going to make 13. Another drop up here, and group 2 separate groups of units are probably going to be rolled over by this band. Looks like a more significant number available. Down here, engineers are doing a build thing all at once. 1, 2, 3, 4 mixes and a factory, but they don't do well against units in combat. Let's check out what yellow sees. Well, this is on radar, and I'm not sure how he's letting it survive that long. The longer he leaves that, the worse it's going to get. Hendrix has a radar up, but he can't see because of the massive power stall he's doing. He's stalling power on. Looks like an upgrade on his commander, so that's where all his power's going. And as soon as he's got that back, as soon as he's finished that, he'll get power back and he'll be able to see, hopefully, with the radar, that one unit sitting there which is throwing all the identifiable information. I saw it there pop very briefly. T2 was done and he's gone straight into another. He's starting to build T2 gen, which he definitely needs. And oh my word, that little flare is still going. How many kills now? 16! 16 kills for that little guy. I mean, yeah, they're all engineers, but you have a look at the amount of mass he's demolished. 839 mass, and that's a redirect, so they have been found out, finally. After 16 kills, this lab has been found out. Well done, little guy. Well done. Right, there is a THAM in residence, which could move over and obliterate those guys quite easily, but instead it's a pair of bombers. Going for a nosy, and is he actually going to get another kill? Oh my word, 17 kills. So Yellow gets a gun upgrade on his comm, so he must have spotted that and has decided to comet. Oh no, he hasn't. Or did he? With his unit dying before it died, and he knows what's going on. Either way, these guys have finally died, and Hendrix can get back to the reclaim business. Map's looking fairly even as far as control goes. We have units up here from Hendrix. He has this expansion with an engineer and a couple of point events before getting the mixes this time. Whilst down here we have a solid hold from Yellow. These guys ain't going to be enough to dislodge that. But Yellow is moving through the middle with some T1 RD, and exactly what we mentioned, they're going to start taking out all the point defense around the place, and they're going to move in with some engineers and grab that reclaim. That is going to be juicy as. And yes indeed, that gun upgrade was deliberately up here to clean out this, so Yolo was well aware of it there. And Hendrix is not, because he's stalling on power and he can't see on the radar everything that's going on. It'd be a completely different story if he had power, because he'd be able to see it as a commander, and all of these guys would be able to start firing and causing him issues. Send the unison, do what damage you can before they all die, because gun upgraded comm, is that both? I think that's both, yes it is. So gun, speed and range. These guys are going to get a lot more done in the face of that commander. T2 land is on the way, going straight for T3 actually. I've just seen that. That's an interesting choice. Does have his T2 pigeons all lined up, so he's actually doing pretty well on the eco side of things. Though he's going to lose that. Mass extractor, and probably that one as well, with the sheer number of Zoes that are just coming out. So that was a bit of a plan from Hendrix. Just wanted to take all them out and fires his interceptors through a giant cloud of defending entities, and they're all basically going to die. Not much they can do, but these Zoes are getting some work done. They need to focus down something else. But now these units coming back from Yolo, so he's decided enough's enough. I am going to get rid of this base behind my base. Check out the tick situation down here. Well, we don't even have... we do have T2 factory. Here it is. T2 factory, and it's popping out some Ilshivas, but I'm guessing Yolo thought about that, because Ilshivas are one of the stronger T2 units, and these guys are doing I don't know what. They're just walking one by one into a point defense. Not a great plan. Right, up here looks like it's finally going to be shut down, but not after a couple of T2 mixes were taken out, but nothing else really of note. So I don't know if it's made itself worth it. Definite annoyance. And still building more factories. Probably want to knock that off and start reclaiming what you can, because you've got an army and you've got a comm. You got radar? Yeah, you got radar. You're not getting days finished. That's going to be that. Small raid kept going, took a bunch of damage along the way, mainly due to point defense, but don't know where they're going. Single file into the doom, and we have the first T3 unit. It's a Harbinger, and that's going to be a problem for Hendrix. Up here we can see, well, the other Harbinger, sorry, that must be the first one there, and there's not going to be much left of this place once it goes down. And see, this guy just absolutely cleaned up all of those units very quickly. So Harbingers have a very high rate of fire, and this is hilarious, a point defense which is useless point defense because it's not stopping these mass extractors from dying. Dear oh dear. Probably wanted to be a little bit further forward with that one. Down the bottom though, we have a small counter push, and we do have an Ilshava in the region which will help thin out the numbers. But we have more units streaming in from Yolo down below. Another drop planned out from Hendrix, so he's wanting to get to the back here and do something with there. Up here though, these factories are slowly dying and reclaimed from the commander instead of shooting it down, so wants to take that, and 2 factories left. Won't be long before they go down. As Zui did make it all the way down here and drops a shell onto, or a couple of shells onto the HQ, ain't going to get anything done. Okay, checking out the tick situation down here. Well, still sticking with the T2 spam there. We do have T2 air, and I think that's Nothers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Nothers. Yeah, that 2 back here, and we have, nope, still just T1 air for Yolo. So he's focused on the T3 land. He's got the T3 land out. He has Harbingers roaming around, and that should, Hendrix is spot knows, that should ring some alarm bells. Because they gonna be nasty. There we go. Nothor over here getting some work done. He's got himself 10 kills just bombing random units in this mix. And they're not going to have a fun time because there's 0 anti-air over them, and the interceptors are sitting back here. Another bomb away. It's going to pick up another single one, and it's bold of an Ilshi to run into all of those. I don't think it's going to get out of things alive. Especially if its targeting fails and it can't shoot things. Although the Noth... Oh, I think there was like 6-7 kills in one bomb. That was fantastic work. There is another Ultra here. I'm just going to clean up the rest of those guys, so no worries. But that was an insanely good bomb from the Notha, and he's gone back to bombing. There we go. And we see here that 3000 reclaimed in the middle has been taken away by YOLO. They actually upgraded these mass extractors in the middle as well. A curious idea. Completely undefended. Maybe he figures they can survive long enough before they get noticed. And well, noticed they have been. Because this guy's going to start floating around and killing them off. 2 bombs is all they need and they will be gone. And the interceptors are still sitting back in YOLO's base. Just doing nothing there. Some more drops down here. That's a whole bunch of engineers throwing out some PD. You want to grab this reclaim because that's a T2 mixed with a reclaim just sitting right there. Idle engineers and starting Raz. Right. Got T2, now he's getting Raz. Where is... Well, that's just a gun comm, so YOLO's not using his commander for anything, just a defense in the back of his base. And he's going for T3 power because he thinks he needs it. Well, he probably do eventually, so why not? But I think right now he probably wants to sort his, well, I was going to say mass situation, but he's looking pretty damn good on that front. Let's check out. So Hendrix is reporting true. That is 76 income for him. His power is okay. YOLO, on the other hand, is, well, he's okay as well. So that's 140 reporting true. His power is fine, especially as he finishes off the T3 reactor. And that's probably an air factory, and it's probably going to be planned to upgrade straight to T3. Instead of those ones, that's going to give him a serious advantage. So quite a bit of advantage here for YOLO. The bold attempt from Hendrix to drop units up the back here could have worked out. Almost did if it wasn't for that one little wee scout here. That gave YOLO all the intel he needed to know it was there. He grabbed an upgrade on his comm. And he went and cleaned it out with a bunch of units. So unfortunate for Hendrix. It was a good play, but just that one single unit spoiled the party. Didn't give him time to build up with a huge, what could have been a huge, absolutely huge artillery swarm. Like, I forget how many factories there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factories. 8 factories throwing out Zuis non-stop is a very nasty surprise in the back of your base, and he could have killed so much eco had that been allowed to occur unmolested. Up here though, there we go, so there's the instant upgrade on this factory. I'm going to go skip the T2 stage and go straight to T3, I'd imagine, and it's going to go pretty darn quick because of the extra build power of these guys. And yep, there we go indeed, straight up for T3. So that's going to be a double concern for Hendrix. And see this roving band of, got some harbingers, got some shields, couple of artillery in there, but it's mostly, well, it's all ground. There's no air, anti-air on that, so might want to consider doing so. Up here, a T1 PD has been built faster than this one. This guy can build a T1 PD. It's going to go down. He's going to go down. That'd be all she wrote. I have good radar down there, and that's a small air wing doing, I don't know, not too sure what. There's nothing in the area. So we have a bunch of Nothas here, and they're going to start having to go at the ground units, which is a good idea because you've got nothing else to hit them. There's the air wing over here from YOLO though, so a lot of interceptors are coming in, and they are actually going to ruin this Nothas' day. There's no anti-air down here, nothing to slow them down, nothing to assist the Nothas. They're going to get caught and they're going to get dealt with. The air wing from YOLO is just loitering, watching for these guys coming in, but he's got far superior numbers, and you just watch those Nothas fall out of the sky. Air versus air, and well, we know how that's going to happen when you can have like 3 times the anti-numbers. You're going to win it. Indeed, see Hendrix air wing is just absolutely gone, and the Nothas are to follow. Trying to get some work done, trying to bomb some units, but no. No joy once these guys are around. And down here we have a few Ultras ready to try and defend against superior Harbinger numbers, or you ain't going to get that done. T3 upgrade just about done for Hendrix, but what he plans to build after that I am not sure. Maybe a whole bunch of PD. You're going to need it. These guys are going to be rocking around to your base pretty shortly. He has got a few transports around, so he could consider doing drops if he can get around the back again. This is reasonably undefended. There is a commander, but not too much else. It's all engineers. Some kind of work done getting there. Is holding the corners, so he's got a bit of help with that front, but they aren't really upgraded. Got a few T1 PD, and still these are all T1 mixes. Not a lot going on there, and these guys are wandering around. How's your intel? Oh, you got no intel. That's T1 radar. If you upgraded that to T2, it'd be great. You could see a lot more. And we do see T3 is in the air. Those are ASFs. I don't know what he's concerned about. Has he scouted his opponent recently? Oh, the answer is a solid maybe. Not recently though. These are still showing as T1 factories when they are indeed T2, and there's an upgrade to T3 on the way for this one. But actually that was his T2 HQ as well for land, so no more T2 land for Hendrix, and he's going to need to... Did he just control K his power? Surely. Oh, he's got Raz on his comm. So he's supplementing power from comm. He's in the desperate need for mass, and decides he doesn't need his T2 power anymore, explodes them, reclaims them, and is trying to get some upgrades done because he knows this is coming. Absolutely knows this is coming. Now he's got to worry about not just Harbingers anymore, but there's also some T3 ID. There we go. So those mobile serenities are a pain in the buttocks for him to deal with in his current state. We also have a few Harbingers working up this way. Well, if they're not careful, they'll run into all of these, and that will cause them to have a very bad time. A bunch of units to try and deal some extra damage, but they won't get a lot done, and these are all upgrading at the same time. Maybe that's where your mess is going, and maybe that's where it shouldn't be going. Alright, there we go. Harbingers want to range all of these, and just watch the health shred off them. A lot of DPS from T1 PD, but you stay at range and you'll be okay. Alright, but this is where things are going down. If Mr. Hendrix does not defend against this, he's going to find himself in a very, very bad place. He did finish off his T3 air factory, but now he needs some power to run it. Popping out some ASFs, I don't know if they're going to help. There is a single gunship, but there is now flak included in the mix here, so that's going to trip up those. Up here, Raz is almost done for YOLO, so he's got T3 air surrounded by T3 PGens, and he's doing quite well for himself. Quite well indeed, and you can see he's just managed to raid effectively, push things around, keep Hendrix out of his base. He's managed to eco up, and he is now got like double the eco. Oh, poor Hendrix here. And of course, point defense shooting at hill, absolute classic. Because that hill deserves it. You can see here the T3 armies are also opening up, and this is a sizable band to be concerned about. And T1 PD over here is going to have some fun, especially if that wanders into... Nope, it'll be alright. Still going to die though. And engineer slaughter. As you do, another Volthu pops over, but as mentioned, there's a couple of flak in the range, and they will kill that pretty darn quickly. PD spam from Hendrix. He wants to survive. Wants to try and kill all of these, and well, if he gets enough of these up, he'll be alright, and it will be quite a significant mass donation that he can use to upgrade other spots, but he's getting pushed up here as well. These Harbingers have been very cautiously coming in bit by bit slowly instead of rushing in, which is the right idea. It gives them the range and the ability to pick off all of these slowly, carefully, and not die to overwhelming DPS. But down here, well, I will say, there's only a few Harbingers left in this mix, and they're dying down pretty quickly from the multitudes of T2 PD. But Hendrix is on the run. He's got to be careful, of course. These Harbingers and of course the Auroras outrange him. Having said that, there's only Auroras left except for the Serenities over here lobbing things over, but the Volthus will take him out. So, looks like T2 HQ went down, and just a random shell takes some damage from that. Well, it is a fair amount of reclaim, but is it enough to stop this? The answer is probably not. Shields are going up, air grid is in full whack, and that's a bunch of, yep, looks like a bunch of bombers planned from out of these, and that's going to be a bad time. All his eco right now is going into building this. T3 strap promise. I think he had some air somewhere. Well, he used to have air. Maybe he parked it. I see some inties floating around, and that's strange. I know he used to have a lot more air than that. He had a whole bunch of ACFs, he had a whole bunch of scouts. I know because they came over here and they murdered all of those transports. And they've just disappeared. Did they land in the bad area? Did you control K them for mass? Don't know what happened to them. Because at the time the focus was definitely down here with all the battle going on. And of course Harbingers, being Harbingers, they like to reclaim stuff. That's what Harbingers do. They kill it, then they reclaim it. Useful. But, you know, they do suffer in other things, like they probably... I mean, as far as units go, they're an assault bot, and I think they're probably the strongest assault... No, not really. Oh, you silly person. He has accidentally built torpedo bombers. You're not going to kill much on this map with these guys. Because there's, like... I thought that shape looked a little bit wrong down the bottom left corner there. Because he has realized his error and has promptly swapped out to, well, restore is okay. Guess that'll work. And you might as well bring these back to base, settle them down, and control K them, then reclaim. Because they're getting nothing done. They die over here, they're just going to be a reclaim. Remass. I do wonder if he realizes that the torpedo bombers, he must do. Up here we see another small band of units ready to gradually encroach in and take things out. There was some air, but that is taken out by a combination of flak and redeemers. But yeah, units very good at taking out T2 gunships. Ready, they're just going to walk straight on in, and it is an active point event, so it's not going to get a lot done. Oh, they stopped. They've stopped, and they're going to let the Serenities do the work, as you do. Right then though, back here we have, what's an SMD? Does he really think his opponent is building a nuke? Well, there's a lot of reclaim going on, and there is some T3 power up, so T3 air is definitely a possibility from Hendrix. Lost his column, there it is. Building, well, that's radar, isn't it? Yep, it's T3 only, so he's going to be able to see absolutely everything on the map. In come the Solaces. And yeah, I think it's just a scouting pass. They're not going to get anything done. They're going to circle around, be kind of annoying, but oh look, weird defense. They're not going to get anything done whatsoever. Up here though, there was a push in from Yolo, and he's going to look at trying to clean out this expansion. He's run into a lot of T1 PD, and I think we're going to see most of these units die should they loiter around. In fact, yeah, there we go. That's a whole lot of them dead. So T2 PD in there as well. I don't think there's going to be much left of these guys, except for the fact there's a couple of Serenities back here. They're going to finish things off, and looks like they might survive actually. Well, one more shot from that T2 PD will say goodbye to this. One Harbinger down, and yep, shells from Serenities land and keep the last one alive. Hendrix says, lol, you made torpedo. And Yoli says, wrong hockey. Wrong hockey indeed. But, yeah, that's a definite change from torpedoes. Can't wrong hockey that. Experimentals. Kind of hard to do so. And he's putting up all the e-storage. Not sure why. Is he actually stalling on power? Got plenty. Mass is his issue, but there's plenty of mass in the base. And looks like he has gained map control the rest of the way. Still some T1 PD floating around, so he's going to want to be careful walking up into that. Should be a win for the Harbinger, just. Keep the Serenities around, that will help to kill things off. And there we go. Another T1 PD. Might win actually. Oh, just not. If that shield goes back up, the Harbinger will be fine to take on the other two most likely. Got us have a couple of ranks in vets, so let's health the regen, and down that goes. Now, Hendrix is walking out with this comb. I'm not too sure where to. That's okay. Now he was making T3 air, finishing off another T3 pigeon, which he desperately needs, and a chicken plane. I don't know if that's going to get to complete with just having a look at the numbers of things that's going, and of course this thing, which is almost done. Does the Harbinger live? Yes, it does. Because the shield grew back. Shield recharged. It's absolutely fine. And that's a very large swarm of units. I think Hendrix has radar, so he knows they're there. So yeah, he doesn't want to put his comm anywhere near that. He wants to move away. Donut is going up really fast. There's a lot of build power into that, and it won't be too long for that's in the air and flying over, and that I think will signal the absolute end of everything. He pops down a stealth generator. Yep, I'm pretty sure they know where the shots are coming from, owing to the large beam pointing at them. I was down this way, and instead they move the other way. Scout comes over from yellow, so he's going to see absolutely everything. Another drop planned out from here. I don't know where he's going with that. You can't really drop them over here because there's units in attendance. It's going to die, and ASFs are in the skies. Looks like they came to deny that. You can see everything's got Omni of his own somewhere, probably there. Yep. And we're going to see transports. The engineer's still loaded. Well, no, the engines are back on the ground, I think. There's an air fighter overhead, so popped in his ACFs to try and clean the air out before the disc comes in. But to be honest, there's not enough air matter, and the ground units are coming in along with the T3. Mobile Arty is going to have a bad time. Right, Hendrix pushes out with his comm, and this is all getting shelled now from these guys. But that's going to be a moot point because he's moved out. Bizarre. Basically walked out to meet it as far as I can tell. Down goes the beam. Sits on top of his head and boom. So there we have it, a fairly comprehensive display from Yolo just on how to move and hold areas, a little bit of raiding, and ballsy move from Hendrix up the top here almost paid off. Almost paid off. If you managed to get that production going really well, that would have been a completely different story. Very good times. Okie dokie. Well, that's going to be the first round over, and we'll line up our second match of the night. Bear with me whilst I get that queued up. And you will have to forgive me a little bit more because I have been given the gift of food. The food is better eaten when it is warm. However, we have our second game ready to go. I'm going to launch into this, and just while it's doing so, I will just mute myself. Get a failed replay. Mr. Deponi has sent me. Indeed. Yes, indeed he has. Alright, well, I will check that one out at a later date. But when I go to hope it doesn't just what's the word? I forgot what the word is. Desync. Yes, as long as it doesn't desync, we'll be right to go. But thank you, I will check it out. I have a couple of backups planned as it is. I think we should be okay for tonight, and here we go into this first game. So, another 1v1, as mentioned, we're doing a few of these, and this is actually going. So it's not a ladder match, it is a plain 1v1, and it's going down between Tex, who's up here on the top, and he's combat green, he is Cybran, and his opponent today is Squall, and Red, and he is Aeon. So just give me a moment while I consume some food. And just watch the opening build for these guys as to what they're playing. I'm sorry, Mr. Pony. What do you mean your map? Did you design this one? Anyhow, Skull has done the completely unexpected thing. He's opened up first lane and thrown down a couple of B-gens. Why would you do this? Why would you do any of that? And over here we see that Tex has done exactly the same thing. Land factory, couple of B-gens. Honestly. And these guys call themselves pros. Because they are! They know exactly what they're doing. There is a ton of reclaim to be had, so even if you rush the hydro, you can still send engineers out, and you can see right here, manual reclaim ahoy, and there is just so much to be had. This middle section has a bunch. You have all this reclaim back there, you got pockets there, you got bunches there, so the extra energy is very much appreciated by these guys. Or PJ's planned. Used to be unbeatable on this later map. Just a humble brag, you know, not meaning to toot your own horn or anything, you know. Oh, it used to be awesome. Alright, we have a hunter who's actually made it out and is going to have a go at a couple of engineers. He might get one before these guys get in. One last volley. Engineer dies just before the defending labs. Oh, still worth it. Maybe it's still worth it. Okay, let's see, do we have any air factories planned? Well, that looks like an air factory, but these are all land factories, so getting some adjacency by the hydro and plenty of that, but then an air factory planned down there. This one is starting to pop out a couple of defending combat units, because of course these labs aren't going to sit around and hope they're going to go hunting. Still just land planned for Squall, but I think that might be... No, that's another land factory, so we should see air planned over here somewhere, maybe? Was that a land factory? Sorry, I'm not sure the silhouettes. Actually, it is different. I think this is an air factory. Going for the mix adjacency with air. A curious decision. And of course we have ringed energy around the land factory. I'm going to guess we'll see some PGs around the edge of that to keep it alive. Alrighty, but let's have a look. Income. Right, looking very even as things go though. Tex up here has got us a 3. Looks like he's playing the second hydro before he starts it. Nope, never mind. There goes. The air factory is planned and up and running. And units going ahoy. These guys just moseyed up the front here to see if they could catch an engineer that might be trying to reclaim all of this stuff, because it is a good set, and we have a counter raid on the right. These are labs. Yes, they are, because of course Skull is Aeon, so these are always going to be labs, not Mantis. Like, hopefully there's enough here to defend against that, because otherwise they're going to pick up a couple of engineers that are just minding their own goddamn business. Mantis goes down, so I don't know if that was a bit of micro from Skull, or it's just a case of the labs being really small and hard to hit. I think they're just small and hard to hit. They certainly put out a lot of damage, don't they? Very good. Right, but pushing down on the left hand side, a bit of a counter raid coming from Tex. He's got a few Mantis out, and they could run right on it and ruin an engineer's day, because there's no labs or defense whatsoever. In the meantime, on this side, these guys are still slowly making their way up. Commander in residence now, so they're not going to get much further. Instead, they're going to group up over here and try to win by numbers. But there are a few Mantis just lying in wait for them to show up. See, there's quite a few shots missing, even though there's straight lines. Mantis can have a little bit of a hard time trying to deal with the far superior numbers. In the middle though, we have Squall's comm has wandered up, grabbed himself from Mass Extractor, and might get picked on by these units, or he may just go and kill them himself. Well, he didn't even finish off the Mass Extractor, so he's going to have to turn around and do that. Then he can go back and kill them. Alright, but here though, these Mantis have been successful. They stopped the expansion over here. This engineer, however, is doing quite fine for himself and is going to start on a PD. Question is, will it finish? I don't know, because there's a Mantis, there are some labs, but the Mantis is going to win out on killing the NG first. That is all she wrote right there. So, it's denial of any further movement on that front. A few labs through the middle for a Squall, they get picked up by a squad of Mantis, they die. So, we have had a few reach around the back. Be able to loiter, kill some engines that come over. We have got a bomber being annoying. There was a defending interceptor, but he gets his lines wrong and ends up being in front of the guy who's trying to kill. Does not get a kill on that front. And Squall is actually pushing his commander right up the middle. So wants to grab these mid-mixes and is shooing away some Mantis. They can't really stay there. They see into those labs from a rather large swarm of Mantis in the way. And speaking of raids, we have a Mantis down here that is just tickling away some mixes, because why not? Might as well park himself up and just sit there and do his thing. Indeed he has. No support coming, so just kill the mix off slowly. Could keep moving up the span, pick up a couple of engineers, but I'm pretty sure he has no idea they're there. But we'll kill off the Mass Extractor. Yep, as opponents come in. Sitting still. So much damage from those flares. Actually pretty nasty. Got a larger army pushing up left, although it is all flares. These are all labs, of course. Is having to go against Mantis, but the numbers are quite difficult to deal with. I can hear a commander shooting somewhere. And I think that might be Squall here with his comm, just getting an upgrade right up the front. Kind of ballsy, but at this stage, Tex is a little more worried about the sides than the mid. See nothing, although a lone scout does wander on down and feeds itself to Squall. Right, these units are now pushing through, so that's a bit of a problem. Gonna want to put a hold on that, and looks like Tex is also starting gun on his comm up there, so that's on the way. And Squall is now going for a speed upgrade, and he has assisting, so that should go a little bit faster. A bit of a raid on the right hand side here, run into a point fence. Never a good time when you're not artillery. Another Mantis. Has he been cleaning out the back? I think he has. He's got himself a couple of kills, so he's murdered off these two mixes. Maybe killed off a couple of labs, but there's more engineers pushing back to rebuild those times. In the middle though, that is a sizable army. Labs or not, that's still a worry to deal with, and there are Auroras in the mix now, so the lab spam has stopped and the Aurora spam has started. Gotta say, not even using his air factory at the moment, and there are so many land factories, so land spam is the name of the day, and not surprised when you got 4 main bases, I guess you call them. So he's trying to get that upgrade on his comm. Shouldn't be too much. Well, it's going to be a while longer, which is going to leave a huge advantage for Squall. He's using his comm to great effect because, of course, range and the damage, and as long as you've got radar, which he does, it's a very effective comm. So just see the kind of range that this radar gives him, which must have a T1 radar. There is. There's a good T1 radar back here. That looks like a T1 PD, yes indeedy. So that's going to help shoo away any other units that decide to come along. Raving Band over here is going to help thin out the numbers around Squall, but his comm is the difference. It's going to be an easy time for him to stay alive. And of course he outranges T1 PD, so he can just sit there and do that. I mean, he is hitting the wall behind it, but as soon as that's down, the PD is going to go. There we go. Very quickly shooting health, and there's just not enough in the area for Tex to defend with. We check out down here. Let's have a look for any kind of tech ball. No, we're just looking at factories. T1 all over the day. Let's check out the build. What we got? We have 14 factories for Squall, and on the other side we have 13 factories for tech, so they're both going with the T1 spam by the look of it. These units are being cleaned out, so a bit of a pincer maneuver. And where is Tex? There he is, so he's moving over with his comm. He might be able to catch Skull out, but I think probably not with this extra reinforcing army coming in. If these guys weren't here, it might have been a different story. If his comm was a bit closer to help him clean those up, it would be a different story again. But this is just a Skull with some nice easy kills on his comm, and he gets a rank in veterancy to assist on that, and is halfway towards the next one, so he's doing alright for himself. That, however, is tech. So I missed the T2 upgrade there on that factory, and a Cerberus turret will start to cause some kind of concern, and yeah, Skull either needs to push that really quickly or he needs to run away. And looks like he's appealing for the latter. Yep. Commander is moving away at a slow pace because he keeps bumping into his own units and killing things as he goes. But down here we see Tex is... his comm needs to be a little bit careful because Auroras will do damage. There is some T1 RD in the region as well. But I think with this assisting units here, he should be okay. Got a bomber overhead, but some Minties will take care of that quite happily. Right, and there we go. Tex has managed to fall back in range of his own units, and it'll help clean things up. Did lose a lot of health though. Under 3,000. Squall's looking very healthy with 13-2. And he could push over this way. Might be a mistake though, his support is running out, and then we have T1 PD in the region as well. These guys along with a rocket bot, so T2 on the ground for Squall. Do we have T2 shift anywhere for... No, we do actually, there we go. T2 land is there for Squall. He's popping out some engineers, going to get some power, and he'll be okay. These guys pushing on down, they do have a stealth unit with them, so they're going to be a bit harder to detect, but they don't have any anti-air. Oh, there's one. That'll slowly tickle this guy down to death, which if it doesn't drop his bombs very quickly, which it doesn't, so it's going to die. Single bomb out, I think, but here we go. Here is Skull pushing over this way with his comm, because he knows Tex is in the region and he has a vast hit point advantage. He's got units as well, but he's got to be a little careful. There's a few units over here along with a couple of rocket bots, and they're going to have the range and be able to damage all of this quite happily. Start to see those shells flying on them. This Tex just continues to fall back because he kind of has to. He can't afford to get caught by this group here. Should they get in range, half in range, should they get more in range, he's going to be even worse off. And we see the units are now doing a pincer, and they're going to actually shred these supporting forces, and that's going to cause Squall to decide to fall back a bit, I think. Yes indeed, there we go. And we have these units down here have been caught out a little bit. Just I think Tex's attention is elsewhere, as in over here. These guys are just moving away a little bit. They were taking some range damage, and over here a couple of engines dropped off, but there's already a hunter out, although it's not going any further. I'm sure it will. I'm sure to get these guys once they move up and start trying to build the factory. Or the mass extractor. Yeah, there we go. That's going to be the end of those NGs. And up here the units are still in residence, and Squall has himself a shield. So he'll be able to drop under that and get some extra protection just while he does. Where is Tex? Well, he's all the way at the back here with his comm. He has a gun comm. He really wants to try and bring it back to the front because it is a very capable combat unit in the T1 phase. Do very well, but a complete roll over this position by Squall. These T1 units have shredded everything here, all the mass extractors, the factory. They have to fall back in the face of T2 though. There is now a raid going around the back of Squall's base in return. So T2 units were... oh, there we go. There's a rocket bot, and it is killing off the eruptor at range. Not a bad idea, but out comes a blaze. A few of them actually. So they're going to start causing issues that will quite handily take down a rocket bot, although those last volley will kill that. There we go. And now it is time to push on in. These units are going all the way around the back. They're going to clean up everything because there is absolutely nothing to defend against it. But looking on the rest of the map, I would say Squall has the advantage. He's got the middle up here. He's got the right hand side on top. The left hand side is still being contested because the mass extractors are unbuilt. Whereas over the side we can see they firmly belong to Squall, and he's got the around to defend them. Back here, units are pushed up and they've run into the wreck. You naughty boy, you're not even in this game. Why are you doing that? These guys have one of the range T2PD and they're going to have a good time. Alright, leaving a single Mantis because, well, it's going to die to a bomb anyway. I was going to say it'd probably run into the PD and be dispatched, but nope, that's going to be a hold for Squall at the back of his base. On the right hand side, another push in from Squall. Just trying to prevent this being rebuilt up here. However, there's a comparable force from Tex and they will help shoo those guys away. Because of the lack of T2 units, there's only a shield. Everything else is T1. Alright, but that's a whole lot of engineers doing I don't know what. Probably pulling out Reclaim. And now they're throwing down T1 PD, which is going to be very annoying if it goes up. So it's going up pretty darn quickly, but I think it's been noticed and I'm pretty sure that's going to be just an absolute murder. Ooh, they'll complete it though. They'll complete it, and I'll start putting up some walls, but there's enough T1 arty in the mix along with the units that doesn't get a lot done. Right, so that's the middle retaken for Tex, but there's bombs over here and he doesn't have any anti-air in the mix. Got a interceptor or two loitering around which could come down and help clean that up, but now he has to choose on the left. These units have pushed up and this being reinforced by the blazers, which are taking out the T2 units very sturdy against rocket bots. Not so much against rhinos because rhinos have like almost twice the health and they do not miss. Alright, that should be a hold there for Squall, and he's kept hold for Tex. Bit of a rampage there in the middle from Tex. He's pushed on up. He's discovered an Oblivion. Interesting place to stop your units. I think that was not recognised. His attention has got to be elsewhere, especially all that goes down anyway, so that is all good. That front bombs over here can be picked up by Cementies, and I think that's just the air wing going in to deny. Just knock off some interceptors, and now they fall back from this thing. Wing Commander push on the right as well, so Tex is let these guys run by a little bit. I think his focus was here and here for just a moment, which was just long enough to let these units get past. They are being chased down and they won't get too much further. Got some intercepting ones coming out. I killed off a few mass extractors, but nothing drastic. Okay. Tex holds the left plateau. Squall holds the right plateau. The middle is contested. The left and right channels are contested. So at the moment, it's looking fairly even territory-wise. But having a look at bad place to land your interceptors. It's a bad place for your interceptors to go indeed. But looking at the eco things, you see the left-hand side over here. This has all been absolutely chowed down by Squall. Was it T2? Well, I guess you could say fortunately it was only T1 mass extractors, but they're dead as dead, and less eco is less eco. Alright, checking things out, there's another band pushing up on the left channel, while Tex is holding the right with these guys, but now he's facing T3. Those are Harbingers. It's the HQ, there it is. Had a tech shift over this way, well it's almost there. 75%, so going to be a little bit behind if we have a look at the eco as well. So Squall's got himself up to 127, that is stable with the power, whilst over here we have 81 for tech, so he's behind in eco. It's going to be a bit of a problem, especially with Harbingers showing up and starting to absolutely wreck face. So Tex is going to need to be careful, and he finishes stealth on his comm actually, that's going to help. Can't shoot but you can't hit. So his comm not going to use it as a combat unit, looks like he's going to keep it back hiding which isn't an awful idea considering the existence of harbingers and shields. And over on the side here we see just the swarm units are going to get blunted by the larger force here. And in the middle, T2 units run into a bandit T1. Tom is still wandering around being annoying. Okay, there's the T3 shift and straight into brick production. Don't need anything else, we just need bricks. As you do, bricks are a decent counter to just about any land unit because they have good range and fast rate of fire. So even when you do like T1 spam, because of the faster rate of fire, they will take things down in a very good spot. So I'm not sure who the Rick is watching, or if he's in a chat with somebody, but honestly, let the guys play the game. Let them do what they need to do. Right, Tick's coming over with his comm. He'll be right. Okay, shield goes down and he's going to be able to mop up these guys pretty good. 3 harbingers is almost a concern, but he does have overcharge. I've seen it been used. That goes out. This is the great what's the word? The great equalizer. Yes. That's right, plenty of units in the area to help dispatch those as well. However, this mid group is a bit of a problem. There's not a lot left on the ground to stop these. The shield, the harbinger, there's a brick. That's going to help. But the brick's not going to be a lot of help if it runs straight into things. And T1 bomber spam, what are they going for? It looks like a deliberate attack on the air factory, which is a curious decision because, yeah, didn't really get a lot done. The brick down here has managed to shoo away these guys almost solo, you could say. On the left channel though, this is T2 joining in the battle, got shields and all sorts over there, managing to push Tex back a little bit. And of course the right channel very much another raiding through, killing off more mass extractors, so Tex tries to rebuild them, and all that happens is Skull comes along and kills them off again. Alright, gonna want to not let these guys move up whilst trying to do their thing. Tex is still in the region with his commando. Don't know if he figures there's enough ground units to take out these, because there really kind of isn't. Alright, Brick has moved up with some supporting forces and it's going to have a go at anything it can reach, which is basically everything. Second Brick coming up behind, so that is a good plug for the middle. On the left channel we see a whole lot of artillery shells just falling all over, so both guys are spamming out the T1 RD, and it's not a bad idea, especially for Cybran. The T1 RD with the reducers and their stun are very, very annoying should the shells impact. It's the even though it's only a small stun, it's still a denial of DPS for a certain amount of time, and this is probably a bad idea. Pushing units up, and I see T2 RD, there it is. That's going to just help be a deterrent, I think, although this brick is fairly injured. And if it took a shell, it probably would not survive. Alright, we have a Harbinger on sub 400 health has managed to squeeze on past. And it's going to pick itself up some more mass extractor kills, which is going to be doubly annoying. He's just managed to rebuild those a little bit. Alright, Harbinger flips back because the shield has been recharged. And it can now take on a whole bunch of more stuff that it can't take on a comm, especially if the comm has an overcharge. In the middle, these units have decided to fall back to assist on the right, but now there's problems on the left. That's a loyalist, so because there's a decent amount of T2 and T1 spam, loyalists to come out to assist with that. Looks like that should be a hold on the left, unless these guys move on over. Oh, no, they don't, and in fact that's a power stall. Power store? Yes indeed I did. So he was building T3 air, but he doesn't have it, and that's a strat bomber. Moving on to T3 PGM because he realizes the exact same thing as everybody else. Power stall is bad, especially when shields are a large part of your force's ability. Okay, chicken on left indeed, these guys have dropped back. And did I see an artillery shell from... Yes I did. Trebuchets. They come out to lob some shells over and try and be of assistance. Need to get picked off the ridge by some bricks because they have the range to do so. Might see an edge build from the commander, could build a factory up here and look at taking it over. But a mid push along with a left channel push is a signal for danger with Robinson. This is a lot of units in here and these guys are going to get caught out. Short range shells lobbing over, doing some damage. As soon as those shields drop, are going to be a slightly different story to a lot of things. Got some loyalists in the mix, they need to rush and use their EMP. These guys are trying to push on up, but they are getting flanked as well. So, see the loyalist die and more stun. Got a brick back here trying to do his business and is doing some good damage over here. These shells dropping in from the trebuchets are helping clean out groups at once. But it's been just such a difficult time for Tex. The eco has been different all game. Squall has been ahead by at least 50% more. He's got more build power back here. This is 3 T3 factories. We have T3 air going up, and that's a strap bomber going out. We have, he's got the power sorted issues. No problems there. His commander should be safe. Well, he's safe-ish in the middle. I don't see him getting sniped anytime soon. While that is a hold from Tex, and it's a bit of a mass dump on his front yard. He's got power issues, I think. Yes, indeed. So he's still on power, and that's just a big problem. That's just a problem all around. Some T1 bombers over here to clean up the plateau, because why not? And we see that's sniper bots now as well. Yes, it is. So, yep. I think we're going to see the eventual demise of Tex on this front. Just the eco disparity is far too much. And this power stall is real. All his power got munched in that attack, so it was still an effective attack just from that alone. Kill off the power. Kills off production. No power, no mass, no building. And while there is a hero brick in residence and a couple of point defense left, it's a nightmare. The sniper bots as backup. Because with the sniper bots it means Tex can't even bring his common to assist, because should he get spotted, those guys can shred your health at long range very quickly. And there we go. Units in the base, gonna see another max extractor going down, and there's the strat. Has Tex seen the strat? Well, if he hasn't, he will in a moment. And that's just gonna be the icing on the cake. Power is gone. Strat overhead. Units in your base. Absolutely done. And Brick dies a horrible death to a bunch of sniper bots, as you do. Strap bomber does go down, but Tex knows it over. He throws out the GG. He's got nothing left in his base defending against this. His power's going to go, and that's going to go, and that will be all she wrote. Yeah. The energy was a big thing though. You don't have energy, you don't have anything, because you can't build. Don't get any mass from your mass extractors, because you can't power them. Yeah, easy last thing to stall on. So that was actually pretty, I would say a pretty dominant display from Squall. Kind of got the upper hand near the start with the lab rushing, and he pretty much kept that advantage throughout the entirety of it. Kept on raiding the edges over here, like knocking out these mass extractors, which meant Tex couldn't build them up, and Tex got Tex on the defensive. He couldn't really raid as much as he wanted to, which lets Squall, of course, tick up, eco up in the back, to get that massive advantage. The entire game, he was at least 50, it looked like he was at least 50% ahead on mass in the mid game, and never really fell behind again. If anything, he got even further ahead. Have a look at the total mass here. We see 131k to 174k. Quite a display from Squall. Okay. We shall then move on to our third game. And as soon as I type in the correct numbers and load up the replay, and take a brief pause, just to grab myself a drink. Bear with me. Okay, onto our third map. And as mentioned before, we have a mostly 1v1 night tonight. So, what a surprise, it's another 1v1 battle. This time though, we are going to see a go down on a moor. So we have seen this map before, it's got a few different ways to go, a couple of different channels. But it's a proper ladder match. We have matchup here between Nil and Tom Ruler. So Nil up the top here, and he is Cybran. He's been assigned the red colour, he's opening first land, and down the bottom here his opponent is Tom Ruler, who is Aeon, and he has got himself assigned the blue colour. So he's also opening first land, grabbing that double adjacency with the two mixes there. There's a Hydra nearby, so you can get away without having to build a mix, whereas Nil up here has gone for the single adjacency. So well and fine, as long as it works. Okay, as far as reclaim goes on the map, well, there's 12k in total. Most of it concentrated around the centre, got some larger rocks and spatterings of clumps to get. So you do want to try and get to the centre, but you don't want to ignore your expansions out to the left and your expansions on the plateau here. Now this plateau, of course, you can't edge build, they've made it so it's just not quite possible. So if you want to grab this spot up here, you could get some NGs to walk all the way around, or you drop them with the transport. Decisions, eh? So not much in the early game. We have third engineer out for a nil, and he's working on more. The Hydro is mostly done. Already have a couple of, well, there's a bit of a raiding unit from Tom. He's decided to chuck a lab up the front with a, looks like a scout, another lab coming along the way. So he wants to do a bit of raiding, and he finishes the Hydro as well. That was briefly an air factory, although it has been repositioned over here to get better adjacency to the planned pigeons. Have any combat units out yet from Nil? Well, no, that's more engineers. Will we see a change? Yes, that's a Mantis. So defending Mantis being sent out, and I wonder who's going to go with first, or it's just going to loiter in the case of these guys who are running on in. Down here, yep, there's some more combat units, and we have the same thing here, 1, 2, 3 PG Air Factory. So you see these guys have a pretty similar build. It is Land Factory, get yourself the four max extractors, throw down the Hydro, chuck down a few pigeons, and then lob into the Air Factory. And use your expanding engineers to grab some more mass extractors. Pretty much identical. See a few engineers out, followed by some defending units to go with them. It's a fairly standard build order. Right, this flare is running on over. He's going to see if he can catch up to this guy, which he will do so. The only question is... Ooh, no, he got spotted. There's Tom paying a bit of attention there and does switch back to kill off the engineer. We have a scout sitting up here attempting to tickle a mass extractor to death, which I don't think it actually has the DPS to do because of the regen. Check that out. 2 points damage, regen. 2 points damage, regen. And of course gets no veterancy out of that because it's not killing anything. That's hilarious. Could sit there all day and do nothing. However, this mass extractor won't survive because it's got a lab shooting at it. And that's going to go down a bit of damage there. So we have a bomber each. Got Nil's bomber is loitering over here. Undoubtedly to keep an eye on this expansion. Stop engineers grabbing it. And exact same thing for Tom. A couple of indies are out from each of them as well. So very, very even on the starting. Although the successful raid from Tom Ruler has picked off that mass extractor. These guys up here might do the same thing actually, although Mantis does turn up to distract the lab. Oh, and it goes down. Lab gets away with a single kill, should get chased off by this Mantis, which will catch up to it and kill it, or if it runs over here it's going to run into another Mantis, and that will be the end of his day. Commander is pushing up to the mid. We see, well actually, Tom's a little bit behind there. He has got 3 lane factories and another 3 planned. So there's going to be 6 lane factories popping out of spam. Up here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planned out for nil. So we'll be a little bit behind on the build power. And it's also going to be spending a bit more without that adjacency. So having the factories beside the mixers like this gives adjacency, which makes units cheaper to build. Whereas nil has opted to not do that. But the advantage further down the line is when you have the eco, you upgrade these and ring them, it becomes a better option than having the adjacency. Alright, single bomber coming out, and I don't know what it's going to go for. What it's going to go for is a shot up the butt from an interceptor, and goes down. Maybe do damage landing or something? Nope, not even that. It's fine. He did. Yeah, checking out the expansions as well. Got another bomber up here, and it's having to go to a mass extractor. Do you have any interceptors over here, good sir? No, you don't. You have any anti-air over here? No, you don't. So this guy's going to get a free reign to finish off this mix. Down it goes. All the inties are tied up down here from nil. That's an interesting play. So Tom drew them away from where the bomber is, just to keep it alive. It's a transport. So we might see some engineers load up on that and go for a drop, perhaps for this section down here, which appears to be clear according to these little bit scouty guys. Not sure if that's a good plan for your interceptors. So look around and get nothing done. In the meantime, this bomber's having the worldie of a day. He's got himself a couple of kills, so it looks like he picked up the engineer that was coming back to try and rebuild as well. Transporter's out, but you want to throw an Indy out just to kill that. Gonna get job done. No way he's going to stop it now, and it's going to be the end of this mass extractor here. Boom. Okay. Commanders are exactly opposite each other. And if we have a look for any kind of tech, well, there's no shift yet from Tom. He is quite steadfast in his tier 1 spam at the moment. And we see what we mentioned about the plateaus up here. So we had some units run up from nil to deny the engineers which aren't there. And we have had the counter over this side. Tom's done exactly the same thing. And ran some units up to deny that expansion. Now they're both making a play for the side areas. However, nil has done it with engineer drop from the transport, which is then get these guys down and get some build power up and ready. Whereas the slightly slower version is Tom wandering up with engineers with some support. In the middle of though, a small fight goes on. It's going to end badly for a nil because there's commander in residence and he'll be fine. Here, and he is just grabbing some rocks with his comm. Extra bit of reclaim to help boost the eco. Do we see any tick from him? Well, not yet, I don't think. No upgrades in play. No. Okay. To come out and rebuild that mass extractor, but not that one. A curious decision, which I'm sure he's about to rectify, and then go grab that reclaim. Alright, a small raid down this side. Clearing force on the plateau from Tom, so he wanted to get rid of those 2 mantis and prevent any engineer deaths. But these guys here have got free reign to just wander up and kill this mass extractor. Nothing to stop them. No IT on here to flip them over. They decide to stay and finish it off. I think they should, because they're going to run into issues over this way. Fall back. Run back. Run back. It's too late. Kevin coming. Oh, that's a shame. Probably, I'd say he had enough time to kill that if he'd loitered. But now, he's going to be dead. Up here though, some more mantis coming in, and this one should swing down to the left, kill off these guys and the hydro. Wonder if he just hasn't even thought about that being there yet. They were just standing in the middle with his comm, being all patient like. There's a gun upgrade on the way for Tom, so that's going to be a worry if he decides to loiter like that. Might want to consider moving back and or getting some tech. Let's do that tech check again. There we go, there's a T2 upgrade on the way, 20% done for nil. Do we have tech for Tom? Don't. Sticking with the T1 for the moment, and looks like he's going combat comm as well, so hey, you buddy. gets the range upgrade almost done, he'll then need to get the speed upgrade on the gun, because of course our gun is split into 2 upgrades. The total cost is around about the same as a single upgrade for others, but you just got to do it one by one. Alright, during he has the gun upgrade and the units coming with him, I'd say he's at an advantage in the middle here. There are a few units on the left from Nil, but not enough to worry this, especially with the range upgrade. Okay, small push on the left, although they're going to run into a point defense which is hurriedly going up. There's enough mantis to shoot these guys away anyway, so they'll be fine. This would be a call for evacuation, I think. Not enough units there. We do have a small raid on the right, which is not going to get a lot done. A couple of Medusas back here just to show off these guys, who probably aren't paying as much attention because everything's going to be focused on down here. And yes, indeed, there we go. Nil has dropped back with his commander. He's going to secede the middle section, as he kind of has to. On the right hand side, that was a small push attempt from Nil, but ran into a bunch of units. T1 PD cannot hang around. Transport going somewhere with engineers is not going to succeed in doing a lot. Maybe it was going for this reclaim here, but as soon as the NTs show up, drops off the engines so they can survive for just a little bit longer before some ground units come over to mop them out. Alright, so Nil only dropped back a little bit and is grabbing a T2 upgrade on his comm. He's going to just keep a bit of pressure on with his units. Maybe not quite like that. Looks like there is a hold on the left hand side though. Point defense plus units are going to keep these away. So Tom is, well, he keeps trying. He's pushing, he's probing for that left hand spot, but there are a pair of factories and a point defense as mentioned, so he's not going to get a lot done there. In the middle, I don't think Tom is quite aware that the command is right there. No, he's not, especially that he's on an upgrade, because you might have seen him push up if he knew. Checking out, well, we've had more units push up here and they've cleaned out that spot. I don't know if anything got built. Nope, they're just there to make sure there's no engineers, and Tom has lost his units up here, so Nil has been able to rebuild and start the reclaim. Right, there we go. Tom's pushed up a little bit further with this comm. There's a radar being thrown down, and that T2 upgrade is about 50% done, so Nil has to be careful, and he's lost the SIG over here. Yes, he has, because the T1 PD has gone down thanks to, well, looks like just thanks to Aurora spam. Managing to shoot over the edge, and a bomber flying overhead to take out that PD. Well, that's just rude. Still, air is moving over to the left. That bomber won't be too long for this world. See over here a push up the mid, up the plateau, sorry, not the mid, and I don't think they're going to get that gun done in time, although that gun will survive, and there is a factory in residence to a system repair. Nil gets assistance from the mantis surrounding his comm to finish that off. Throws down a T2PD, which will hopefully be able to shoo Tom away, who's actually already left the region, because I hear rhinos. Where do I hear rhinos? There, I hear a rhino. So Nil has got his T2 on the ground and it is up and running. The T2 P-gen is done and a second one is half done. Have we had a shift? Well, we do have T2, there we go. I was going to say I'd be surprised if there had not been a similar change from Tom, although he doesn't have any T2 power, so throwing out shields that use power when you don't have a lot of it. See, he's draining already, and yeah, gonna have to be careful on that. He's gonna want to think about putting out some T2 NGs and getting some T2 power, because over here, rhinos for days. Well, a rhino is gonna hold. That PD survived the bomber thanks to the air wing coming over and cleaning it up, and now Nil is just in the middle and he's a bit of a PD creep, which is an unusual thing for Cybran. Checking out up here, there was a single point defense and it's got 4 kills to its name, so it's managed to hold off any forces trying to push through that region. Down here we see that the mass extractors got destroyed. There's a single Aurora floating around, so I'll just nudge these guys forward a little bit further and then rebuild. T2 units, rhinos ahoy, and we have T2 units for Tom. Well, we had shields, but Don't know that that's the right call. Units have pushed up here again, just ready to kill absolutely nothing because Nil has not built anything. So it seems like a bit of a waste from Nil. If he scouted there, he would have seen there was nothing and didn't need to do anything really. And these units are going to die the slow death from a single bomber, which is going to bounce around overhead and kill them off. Oh no, got some more bombers in residence, so that'll be the end of that. Okay, in the middle though, does Nil know that that's a comm? Probably not. He's going to put a PD in range anyway, and Tom, well, he starts shooting it, so it's picked up on radar. They're going to finish, yeah, it's going to finish, and then he's going to start taking damage and start thinking about the decision to stand there. If Nil repairs that, it's going to be a extra problem, but he doesn't, and it's going to die. It's going to leave Tom in place to finish the upgrade. I'm guessing Nil's attention was elsewhere, or he would have seen and heard that happening to the comm, who's still standing at the front doing nothing. Although the second Cerberus behind is helping him out. Going to get some extra kills on there. Rhino push on the mid-left, mid-right. Mix up my left and right. Fantastic. And they're going to just waltz on through the spot, kill off some maxi tractors, kill off some NGs, and Tom finishes the speed upgrade on this comm as well. But now he's got a rebuilt PD to deal with, and a second one going up, plus a radar. So he's going to have to be a little careful. There aren't any units here. He could probably push, send the units in first, commander in afterwards, and he could overcharge these down quite handily. But it would be a slight risk if units would reinforce. Alright, let's check this out though. Let's have a look at more tech, and nope, still sticking with the T2 land at the moment. Do we have anything else going on tech-wise? Well, air's still T1, so that's a no. On the left-hand side, and ooh, that's a good pass to clean out half a dozen units. Nice little shift G of the bombs there. They just help whoops through there. Got some rhinos wandering in one by one. Of course, they're quite tough, and Auroras are quite paper thin, so it'll be an easy victory on there. And more Cerberus going down in the mid. Do have shields now surrounding the commander, so he's going to be perfectly fine on that front. These rhinos decided to push on to the right, and this is known as a bad idea. Not going to get much done on that front, and they will die. Maybe they're trying to primary the Hydra down, which they got a half dead, but nowhere near enough to make it worthwhile. Right, Medusa's facing off against Fervors, and we know how that works out. They both die. Because they fire, the shells have their long arc through the air, and by the time they figure it out, they're both dead. Right, Medusa's here are going for the point defense though, because they need to. They're going to pick up that fervor which was sitting there. Right, shields. Good old shields. Poor little Sky Slammer comes up and gets himself mutilated by, well, everything. While these Medusas are all clumped together, and a single fervor shell could kill a bunch. Oh no. That's right, I forgot they have like very little AoE. Medusas, however, have that lovely stun, and it's going to be a nasty time. In the middle, looks like Nil is settling in with his comm. He's got anti-air, he's got a shield, he's got a bunch of Cerberus turrets, he's got a radar, so he's quite comfortable in his location. Checking out on this side, and we have, well, I think that's scouts trying to tickle down PD, or are they trying to kill the walls? Which again, regenerate, so these guys just don't have enough DPS to do anything. They're just going to sit there and look silly. Alright, and speaking of things looking silly, well, there is a radar set behind the hill which cannot be shot, and boy are they trying. Alright, commander over here though, he's wandering away. He's decided maybe he doesn't want to push up there, which really he doesn't. Check out the tech side of things, and oh well, we have tech 3, sorry, I missed the last. Nil has moved to tech 3, and that is bricks. Bricks are good. Do we have a tech shift down here for Tom? Well, we don't. That is still a T2 HQ. Do we have tech in the air? We do. So that's a T2A factory with Swift Winds, and that's a gunship, so Spectres coming out there, they're going to be a problem. Have any tech in the air for Nil? Well, no we don't, but Unless Tom goes for T3, he'll be fine with just instinctors. Spam those things like nobody's business, and they do pretty well in the T2 stage. The Obsidian over here trying to roll around and get things done, but it keeps getting stunned by Medusas, most annoyingly. Oof, but there's a second one behind helping clean things up. Ready, so in the middle we have, sitting as he is, we have Tom pushing over towards the left with some units, so maybe he doesn't want that expansion to live much longer, and a small push here as well. So I don't know if these guys were just positioning around or if they're actually coming back to kill those tanks. Either way, they win and the losers. But the bricks are going to be an interesting change. So, yep, that is Nil deciding he doesn't need his comm up the front anymore. He can swap out for an engineer, and an engineer can do all the building. He's safe now. That pocket in the middle and take things on. Over here though, we see Tom is starting to kill things off with his commander, having fun, just picking things out one by one. Alright, this lot may be pushing up onto the plateau once again, or they'll just be consolidating forces there. So hero point of defense down here has 18 kills to his name. Most of those 18 are probably scouts, but nonetheless, kills are kills. Done a job. Though we have a Spectre flying over, and it's probably going to die. So rude. That point of defense never hurt you. Not directly. It's a shame, but that is the way it goes. We have the air wing popping in from Nil that's going to shoot away the Spectre before it dies. So, actually, the autogun survives. And these guys are... Ooh, they're flying a long way, and they're flying over flak. Never a great idea, and they're getting turned on. So, is that an air sacrifice just to kill the Spectre? Kind of looks like it was, because these guys are all dead now. Caught and behind, and that is all the air gone for Nil, so I don't think that was worth it. Sacrificing your entire air wing to kill one Spectre. And but in the middle, those bricks are tuned up, and they're going to start doing bad things to, well, everything. Though there is a couple of T2 point defense which are going to decide they might just want to fall back. Up here we see, well, T1 PD is in the area, and we have some T2 units with some Medusas, so that's not what's going to help clean out the support that's with Tom, but his commander will be absolutely fine. He can move away, and he's got Obsidians to back him up, so he'll be fine on the ground, no dramas on there. Up here we did mention the push going up the plateau. They're going to wipe out this again. Maybe they'll wipe out the factory this time. Maybe, maybe not, we'll never know. Nil is sitting here with this comm in a strange location. I probably would have kept walking back here and wandered into a shield or something, or we have a T3 power generator going up, and more bricks is coming along the way. Eco is pretty darn similar here. As far as mass goes, we have 79 income for Nil, we have 75 for Tom, and energy wise, well, Tom is better off on energy, but it kind of has to be because he upgraded that factory to T2 and is popping out T2 air. Have we had a T3 shift on the land? We have not. He's stuck with the T2 for now, although I might see that change now that he's had bricks on his doorstep. Up here, these units have managed to complete wiping out all of this, but there's a couple of Medusas in residence that are just lobbing shells over, albeit inaccurately. I want to kill the engineer first rather than anything else. Small push on the mid left over here, but they're going to run into a brick who's going to have a great time against T1 units. So shields are always annoying. Soak up a lot of damage. Right, just need a quick pause here, folks. Sorry, just one moment. We'll let the game run on. You can just watch the overview. No thank you, and this poor brick over the side is going to get absolutely overwhelmed. And mostly by air. A couple of spectres in the region are going to help take hit points right down off that thing. Spectres do have a reasonably strong alpha, and they hurt. Earwing comes in from Tom though, maybe a little bit late. The spectres are already down, although there's a second one hiding on the ground. A curious choice, but it keeps it alive because it's under the shield, doesn't get picked up by entities. And this brick's just going to sit here and kill things one by one at extreme range. What a good time. Not a good place to land your ear, although Spectre goes back up and starts going away. Ah well. No more air, no more air. I think that brick is done for. Indeedy. Wanders into range of these guys. Takes some hits from the obsidians and goes down. Got another brick wandering over here and a sizable force. Just a few bricks ready to tangle, although they got to be careful. There's still T1 PD and it still causes damage when you walk into range of it. And of course there's that T2 PD over here as well as a bunch of units, so I don't think they're going to get a lot done, and maybe they want to think about moving the other direction, but I guess not. Bit of band up here as well, so these guys have pushed all the way up after this hero T1 PD has been demolished. So what is the deal? What is being worked on? Well, we do have T3 power for nil. We have Land Factory is still popping out bricks. Has he moved into any kind of air game? Well, he's built a factory beside T3, so they may see a shift to T3 air on that one. Let's check out the tech down here for... But there we go. That's finally a T3 shift for Tom, so just got the one engineer assisting on that, and still T2 air and more power. Brick down here having fun with a face-off against T1 PD, but a gunship comes along to ruin that little matchup. Is going to kill off a few mass extractors? Will he get the third one? I think so. Survives with 20 health from that salvo, but he'll go down. That guy. Right, units are now pushing up onto the top, and that's going to be a little cause for alarm because there's not a lot in the base to stop them. We see a chrono upgrade going for Tom, so that's a good thing to slap onto a gun comp because it helps stun enemy units that get too close, just for a short time, but it is still useful. Alright, Cerberus Tower is going to go up, and I don't know how much good it's going to do. The brick that's going to roll off this line will be much more useful, I'd think. But, shield's going to start taking damage, and unless these engines have stopped some T1 PD, which is going up really quickly, is going to be a huge help for all of that. Alright, we're moving into range of these shields now, but the shields won't last too much longer. In fact, the first one goes down, and we're going to see... Okay, so between the brick, the T1 PD, and the Cerberus turrets over here, these guys I don't think are going to get a lot done. A brick wanders the wrong direction. But, yeah. More Cerberus turrets, they might kill off the Hydro. Grab a P-Gen. Damage over there, but mostly ineffective. I'd say mostly ineffective. Didn't get a huge amount done. Right, over here got some bricks and a Rhino posturing to take out some of these guys, but they're discovering that Fervor Fire works perfectly fine against Tick 3. Right, these guys are all dead. Raid over. In the middle, these Cerberus turrets are absolutely determined to shoot this hill. I know they're trying to hit this. That's a lot of damage on the hill. Getting nothing done there. I hear... There we go. And we see the effect of the chrono dampener. Every time it pops, they get stunned for a couple of seconds, and that's all the difference. It can make all the difference sometimes. You guys have to fall back now. They're just going to get slowly shredded down to nothingness. How's that T3? Well, it's done. And that's actually a sniper bot. So we saw these were being used in the game. This game with Tix and Squall. Used to very good effect. So we'll see what happens here. Another land factory going up to T3, so Tom has decided to move to the T3 phase entirely. And he's using these spectres all over the place to harass the bricks down. Another air wing coming in from Nil, so he's rebuilt his quite easily. Should be more than a match for all of these guys. Just needs to pivot over and not hover over the flak, and you should be fine. Right, spectres go down. We see the air wing over here from Tom, which does include swift winds, but that's a lot of inties which you do not want to land. Awful position. They do take off, unfortunately, just in time to be caught by everything Tom, and they are going to get slaughtered as he just slips in behind. Oh, absolute carnage. Absolute carnage. Check out the rest of the map while the air was all dying up here though. There was a flak, but it's not going to do a lot. Got a T1 anti-air here. Off another, oh no, sorry, T2, there's another flak, so it's going to kill off some things. And we have got flak over here as well, so you don't want to loiter too badly. Check it out, there's a lot of shield coverage for a gun chrono commander. And again, these forces, basically, they just have to fall back. A brief pause there from the guys, they needed a bit of time by the look of it. And just trying to get us something to deny this. Well, about all you can do to stop a chrono gun com is either experimental or point defense. Point defense is not stunned by the chrono, experimentals are not stunned by the chrono. Now then, do we have anything planned? Well, no, still popping out those. Commander's still in residence at the base. Does have T3 air though, so that's a shift. Do we have T3 air? No we don't, that's still T2 for Tom. And yeah, anywhere else, so yep. Looks like Neil decided he was tired of losing his air. And he's gone T3. Because why not? One PD trying his best to do, well, anything, but yeah, nothing happening there. Is Tom even aware of these factories? Well, he must be. He knows it's there, so I don't understand why he's not pushing to finish it off, because this leaves Nil the ability to just rebuild these mixes and he'll be fine. Bricks on the right, and they're getting absolutely smashed out here. Overwhelming numbers of T2 obsidians and T1, and the brick has to run for his life. And again, parking your air over flak is a bad idea. Don't stay there, leave. Another brick down the right, also smashed out by obsidian, as these guys have a high alpha. They're not bad when they're clustered together against T3 units should they get in range. They have a short range, and it does make a difference, keeping things out of range of obsidians and sniper bot. Saw that. Took a shot and killed a guy. T kills to his name and is ready to kill more. Okay, in the middle, that's a sizable band of units and a huge bunch of obsidians under shields with some flak. It's a force to be worried about, especially in the mid here, which has not... well, it's got a few super attacks, but not a great amount. Brick rolling in, pretty much just slap him under the shields to be defensive. And that's a strat. That is a strat out from Nil, so he's decided to jump into that air game and cause a bit of havoc with a strat bomb perhaps, and this would be a great target. Take out the sniper bots. Too many shields over Tom to be terribly effective there, and these guys wander into range of the Cerberus turrets and they will take a good amount of damage until they get behind the hill. Okay, so T2PD over here is the answer to the wandering com. See here, the strat is trying to make gains. What's it going to go for? Well, it's not going to get much done if it gets caught by the swift winds. Maybe get a bomb off. There goes one, but it's going to go down. Bomb's going to land and kill two T2 PGs. So, not a bad choice. Imagine power was going to be the aim and it's going to kill some more of it, but just the one straight out gets caught out, does get the bomb away, but ultimately may not have been effective enough to warrant keeping. Up on the left here, and well, Tom Ruler just decides, I'm going to stand in the middle of all this, let my shields do the talking and let my sniper bots do the blinking. because why not? You got the sniper bots, you might as well use them. There are a bunch of bricks around ready to brush on in, which won't be too much longer before that happens. I think the shields are dwindling off and they are dying down slowly. Another push on the right hand side, got a brick trying to defend against a bunch of obsidians again. They just take it down. And the air doesn't want to sit there too much longer. We have a point defense up from nil, so that's going to help plug the gap on the side. And indeed, he's rebuilt up here again. A couple of bricks down here are tickling down some units, and just check the health drop off that thing from all the obsidian fire. Like I said, once they get in range, they are quite nasty. Alright, let's check out this side of things. Well, these units have had to push up because of these sniper bots, and they push up and take them out. They're going to have a bad day, but the chrono is back inactive, so has he rebuilt power? Or yes, he has. And he's grabbing T3 BGM, which he very much needs, and has shifted to T3 air as well. More sniper bots coming out. Okay, snipers. Snipers and shields. With obsidian backup. My word. Alright, what do you have planned, Mr. Nil? Well, you're still popping out the bricks as you do. You have the T3 air, which is slapping out ASF, so a good number there. And if it wasn't for the chrono, Tom would be in a lot of trouble right here. But the chrono is going to bail him out. I mean, I guess that's why he put it on the comm, so it would do exactly that. But if he did not have it, he would absolutely 100% be dead. There's more than enough bricks to make him, to make all the pain. Okay, things gone a bit quiet on the right hand side. Got some, that's a lot of sniper bots though. 6 bots, some shields, got some obsidians up front for defensive line. And this little forward base has, well, served its purpose. It's sat there and been a denial. But this band looked like they're going for a wander. They may be pushing up to here to knock off all of these, which would be a good idea, considering these are all T2. Alright, but they're running into some PD. There's a lot of bricks though. I don't think it's going to last much longer. This force is starting to move in, which will help keep things alive. I think these guys should have it over the bricks because of the shields and the point defense they have to try and deal with. Though if even just 2 or 3 bricks get into here, this is all dead. And coming in piecemeal, actually, those bricks are carving up the obsidians quite happily as they come in one by one. They're going to get a good head start on them, and yeah, that's looking pretty nasty. Obsidians decide maybe we don't want any of this. We're going to run away now. Split your forces, keep something going over here. There we go, 1 brick's going on over here, and it's going to go finish off that. A bunch of aircrafts. That's a poor place to land. And that is done for. Okay. Aha. Crap. Just recently been started, but that looks like Nil's gambit, so he's going to stick with popping out some T3 units here, there, and slapping out some air, but the scout course pretty much landing on the crabs. There's no way Tom is not aware of its existence. I mean, it literally landed, or tried to land, on the crab. Well, it's landed under it now. So if he doesn't know this crab being built, then, yeah. Having said that, he has 24 sniper bots roaming around. 4 times as many sniper bots as he does harbingers. That's a dangerous amount, and if you can see here, they have just absolutely shredded the middle base. They're sitting at range, they're using the radar, and they're just picking things off one by one. I hear a strat. Well, there we go, strat into the main base, kills off, well, a mass extractor and a bunch of storage. Doesn't get enough done. I would have thought it might have been a better idea to have the strat go for some of these. No shields, just quite sitting there happily. You know, you get a strap bomber over some of these and they will just absolutely die horribly. which is what they need to do. The sheer numbers they have right now, they will be able to pick off basically anything coming towards them as long as it's scouted. Now the strat has gone out, and how's that crab going? Well, it's what's that, 33%? 30%? But not too far. But right now, Nil is well ahead on the eco side as well. He is reckoning at 180 income to Tom's 110, so all of it, however, is going into this. And it's going up pretty quickly, so Tom figures there's something he needs to do about this, and that something could very well be get these guys into the game. They are very weak though. Even a bunch of T1 bombs just to fly overhead and drop a payload onto them will cause issues. Strat, a single strat. Use it, kill off this group, and you way laughing, because that's actually quite dangerous. Especially if it pushes into range of this guy. He's only under it. That's a basic T2 shield. That will last maybe 1 or 2 shots from snipers, and then it will be gone. Though they're not pushing up at the moment, so he lucks out on that front. And here the strat, and it's gone through and killed, well, don't think they're worth it. I mean, he's aware of these, right? Yeah, he knows the sniper bots, he's scouted them. He's watching his stuff die very quickly from range. And that's a ground shot from the Cerberus turrets, so they do not like the ground. But because that's the ground, the same thing applies to the snipers. Maybe, maybe not actually. They look like they have a better angle, so they'll be able to survive and just peek over the top and shoot. That'll be good times. Luckiest engineer ever. Had about 3 or 4 shots missed before that connection. How's the crab? Well, it's about half done, just under. It is absolutely getting there, but Bricks are trying to chase down these sniper bots, which is not going to work so well. More sniper bots everywhere. So I don't know if Nil is aware just how many snipers are in this, or that there's snipers in there, but he's got to be aware of this massive force building up on his doorstep, and he's got a few poultry bricks here to try and defend it. Again, a lot of eco into that mega. It's going to be his trump card, but I don't think he's got time to finish it. These guys are absolutely moving up, and they're going to start. Yeah, he knows his sniper bots. He's got some factories. Just spam out some T1 bombers, although they're under shields now with flak, I imagine. There's got to be flak in there. Yep, there it is. So that's going to be a problem, and now he's walking bricks into that absolutely devastating firing line. They just die horrible, horrible deaths. Command is still in close proximity, and the megalith is up to 75%, just about ticking to green. 73%, very close to ticking over into green, but this is very, very dangerous, especially for the commander. And we see here, we're going to... Okay, it'll take a few shots to take that down, but now he's got real problems. Should those sniper bots decide to focus down the comm, he's going to have issues, and he needs to get out of dodge really quickly. He needs to use the bricks as a shield, move them forward, but he's bouncing off his own bricks, and now he's been spotted and targeted. Check out the health, and he's gone just like that. That mega was so close to being done too. But he needs to stop this advance somehow. And his commander just simply getting caught there. You saw his health just absolutely shred. Decimated, gone, kaput. Sniper bots that he have sitting there. Oh, it's 20. 20 sniper bots to kill commander. Very unfortunate. So much eco into this grab. If you managed to finish it, it would have been a game changer. Perhaps would have had to deal with all these sniper bots though, and they would have done a lot of damage to it for it got in range. Still, that's how it goes. He went for the experimental gamble. Maybe a spider would have been a better idea. get an early Mike Lord out with a bit of a bit of stealth, get around the side and just ruin stuff. But nope. Went for the grab, and unfortunately did not pay off. Okay folks, and we have one more game left to cast. Just one more planned. Give me one moment to sort this out. Okay. Replay is away. I want to just take a couple of minutes just to get a drink down. I'll be right back. Bear with me. Okay, appreciate your patience. We are going to move into... We know this map, we've seen it before, and it seems to be gaining in popularity a little bit. People are enjoying it. It is not too bad, from my opinion either. I think it's actually a pretty alright map. But anyway, you've seen it before, you know what it is. It is Adaptive Millennium, and it's going to go down. So, let's first off get into the teams and the ratings. So we have an average rating of 1383 to 1400. So this is a high Joe with a couple of pros sprinkled in. We have Corliss in February at 17 and 1600. The rating of 92% balance. So pretty damn good. Team 1 is at the top. So let's have an introduction of these guys. So going first on the far side, it is Mr. Razor J, and he is Seraphim. He is blue. Beside him we have a Shemale going Snot Green. Snot Green? Yeah, that's the Snot Green. They're Cyber anyway, they've earned themselves up first land. Beside them in the middle it is Noob Dragon. He's gone Burgundy, he's gone UEF for the first land. Over here it is February, he is also Cyber, and that is in Vomit Yellow. Up first land as well, stomping his way towards the middle, or to this reclaim here at least. Nope, straight to the middle. Up on the air plateau it is Emperor Penguin. He's in combat green, he is Seraphim. And down in front of him, the final player for Team 1, it is GLA Postal Service. It's in the other green. It's also making his way forwards. Okay then, for team number 2, and already walking way up, it is Hashira. He's yellow, he is Seraphim. Beside him it is Corliss, he's sitting in his base at the moment, he's combat green Cybran. Beside him in lovely grey colour, it is, there he is already walking his way, it's Ushi Racis. Ushi from here. Beside him down on this side is Drimicus, light blue Seraphim. Up on the air plateau, bright red it is DMB, and he is Aeon. And finally finished off for team number 2, it is Taylor Roche, he's Cyan, he's UEF, and his com is settled firmly in his base. Okay, so Reclaim. There is a couple of T2 mixes with Reclaim in the middle here. A whole bunch of rocks you don't want to give to your enemies without being contested. And then there's more here, and then there's more here. And of course there's pockets of Reclaim all around the place. So, plenty of Reclaim to add into your builders. There's a few rocks up here as well you could drop to. And yeah, it's looking actually pretty good. Alright, first shots fired over here, and that's between GLA and Hashira. And it looks like Hashira probably got the best of that Reclaim there, and is now moving over this way to grab the underwater rocks. There are 3 more rocks over here, which is exactly what GLA is going for. Because, you know, why not? Because he has an engineer coming this way to try and grab these ones. And, well, the commander won't be able to do much about the NG because it's underwater. Unless he gets close enough to reclaim it, it's going to do fine. Right in the middle, that's going to be a bit of a worry. Ushi is facing off against two commanders. He does not want to keep doing what he's doing. Wants to leave. The water has been pinged. It is closer, and he should be able to make it there quite safely. Although now he's just in range of one commander instead of two. That's going to help his survivability a heck of a lot. It's a lot less DPS he has to deal with. He is down into the yellow and getting pressured. He cannot afford to stop moving now. He has to keep on going, and he's going to need support. See, Drimicus is wandering his comm up and forwards. Ushi is down into the yellow, 5,500 hit points. February still in the green, though that will change very shortly. And wants a slight change in direction. He's got to be careful. So if he gets in range of two commanders, he's going to have a really bad time. February's down to the yellow as well, under 7,000, but Drimo, bring your comm over. Rather help out, although February's decided, you know what, had enough, I don't want to get caught too close to all this. They have managed to push Ushi all the way back towards the small plateau here, which means they now have mid control, come back, grab these rocks and set up a nice little base. Safe. On the right hand side, that's quite a sizable push from Taylor O'Shea. Units are pushed right up and causing some issues for Razor J's comm, who has the comm from Taylor pushing up as well, so he's not going to want to loiter around too long. In fact, he's got some real problems. He's going to want to get into the water. Cannot afford to stay out there. Comm and units in his face. Now, what has he got in the way of defense? Well, he doesn't have much. He's got T2 mixers. Yep, so he's put his eco into the T2 mixers, whilst Taylor O'Shea has put his eco into this units. And yeah, he's going to... Oh, that's a problem. We want to be building some units out of here. Anything to try and stop all this. Because at the moment, you've got nothing. And this is all quite ready to die. Tanks coming out of there. Still Engines coming out of here to go and do nothing. Taylor does have to be a little careful because Shimao is loitering in the area. Shimao brings their comm over and that will help reinforce, but that's a T1 PD going down for Taylor. So as soon as Razor pops out into range of it, well, Razor has popped out, and that's actually a drop from DMB to grab this plateau, because why not? Why not? See, these units have wandered on up, and there's a bomber flying over from Drimicus just to be extra annoying. Do we have spam going up? But now we see Taylor is on the move, and you want to kill those. Absolutely do. This is a ballsy move from Razor. I suppose he's right by the water, so he should be okay. The last thing he wants to do is move upwards, and he does not want to get caught out by units like that. In the middle, we see that was a hold from Noob, and he's getting T2 on his comm to definitely fire base up. And a small push here from GLA, while his comm's getting an upgrade back here. They're going to kill off a mix, well, one mix, so not a huge amount done. We're going to upgrade for Hashira, but it's all going on at the right at the moment, and Razor getting himself caught out by some units for this comm. He should be okay, but it is his base that has the issue. More what's left of his base, there isn't much. Factory, all the mixes have gone down, including those two T2 mixes. How's the health on his comm? Well, he's okay. He'll be able to kill these units off, but he's not going to be able to loiter because Taylor is coming in with his commander. He's going to be forced into the water to get not a lot more done. Up here, absolute tatters. There is another T2 mix here, which he's currently living off, but it's not going to work at this. No units, all eco, no defense. Alright, we do have supporting units coming in from Shimao, which should help out to defend things. We see a very slowly built point defense going up, although actually it's not too bad. And it goes up, and it's going to help make a big difference along with the units from Shimao, so he should keep most of the space. Up here though, we see, yep, forced into the water, kind of has to be there, and is grabbing the rocks while he's at it. T2 upgrade on the way for Taylor, because why not? In the middle, there is a well-established position from Noob and February, though February doesn't need to be there, his comp's not really doing much. On the left-hand side, we see T2 is going up for GLA, and he's going to hold a line, while Hashira decides to walk up with his gun com, and he's going to run into Cerberus turrets. He can kill off a bunch of units first. He should be okay. Cerberus turrets, as we know, are quite slow on the killing capability of commanders because they tickle things to death really slowly. Okay, still 2 Cerberus turrets are a thing to be concerned about. Over here, what was left? Well, got the Hydro, killed one of the air factories, didn't get the second, finished off the... must have been Zuis that killed off those. But it's going to be the rest of the base holding intact. On the... oh no, his com's quite healthy, and there is T2 PD around, so yeah, GLA should be absolutely fine here. Unless Hashira decides to kill off all the point defense, which he kinda has done, so I think GLA is going to have to walk into the water. Doesn't have a lot of options here right now. He's got a gun com on his face, he's stuck. No, he gets away, he should be okay. He'll be in yellow, but he'll be underwater and be perfectly safe for the moment. Over here, gun upgrade going for February. Looks like he's planning to get over and assist because, well, say he kind of needs to. Because right now, this is wide open for Hashira to go into. It's T2 lane factory here that's been made, so going to pop out some slightly tougher units, but of course, if you've got overcharge, those slightly tougher units ain't going to do a heck of a lot. Right, back on the middle, well, there's just a... it looks like a little firebase being popped up by New Dragon, so he's going to sit there and you'll probably see T2I to come out of that, and that's a naval factory from Corliss. Oh, the cheek. Is he actually going to get it completed? It's been scouted. Scout has just flown over, so they know it's there. And it will be quite easy for February to just walk around with his comm and kill it off. Picking up here, and Hashira is just... he's building a torpedo launcher. He doesn't want GLA to stay there. So he's building a torpedo launcher to shoo him away. Although we're going to see subs come out from this factory here, and those are going to keep the water clean, and a torpedo bomber from Corliss as well. So GLA really can't stand the water. He's going to have to come out, although this time he will be coming out with assistance from February. And remember, he does have a T2 comm and anti-air turret going up, but honestly, he just needs to get out of the water. Another torpedo bomber coming out, and this guy won't be done. Here we go. Hashira is ready and waiting. He's got units. He's getting lured over. It's going to be 2v1 versus comms. There's going to be units, and there's going to be an extra gun com here from February, who's absolutely going to be making a difference. So Hashira has to be careful. He is going to be outnumbered and outgunned very quickly, because his units are going to die. He's going to go up 2v1 against other commanders, and his reinforcements are not looking healthy. And his commander for some reason is not shooting. Oh, there we go. So yeah, he's going to dip into the water. I would imagine we'll see that coming. We do have Corsairs though coming in from Corliss, and those are going to possibly make these guys think twice about loitering. Although there is a bit of anti-air around the place. These subs are in the water to help shoot them. And it is now Hashira's turn to be a little concerned. He's throwing down some damage onto February, because February, as you do, stops to overcharge a T2 PD, which does not go down. And now it's going to be comm on comm action. And what is the result here going to be? Well, we don't know. It's a ballsy from Hashira though. 2 versus 1 gun com. He has got units coming in. There are a bunch coming over here. That T2 point defense isn't far off completing, which is going to be a big problem. And Hashira's calling out the 2v1, and honestly, he's not doing a bad job of it. He wants to get himself safe. He needs to start killing off that. No way he wants that to survive. Got some arty shells coming over, and they might do enough. What's that? That's a strat. So Syntha has a strat bomber, and not have T3L. 90% done. That strat's going to have the time of his life. He's got 8 kills there, and Hashira is caught. Finally, the 2v1 tells, and he has to drop into the water. Has to be safe, although there's a sliver here, quite ready, and the torpedo bombers, of course, are loitering around as well, so these guys can't stay in the water either. And now a torp launcher from GLA. Hashira is popping out, and looks like he's going to have a go at February. There we go, and it is, well, in come the call says, uh-oh, one of these guys dies, they're both going to die. And that's going to be all she wrote. Look at the health on GLA, he's almost dead as well. If there's anything around that could, any torps left, anything that could ever go at him, he would not last too much longer. But how's that strat doing? I hear it still floating around. Well, here it is up there. It's being chased by a whole bunch of inties. Has itself 19 kills to his name, and they're doing the long way. They ain't catching that. It is faster. Alright, slight pause there. That is fine. And we see the ASCFs are moving in from Emperor, and they're going to shoo away those inties quite easily. Strat still going. Up here though, we see the units are getting smacked by Taylor Richey, so Razor has been supported well from his teammates. He's managed to rebuild all of this, and now he can start thinking about getting back on the offensive. And Taylor needs to be careful, they don't want to get caught by surprise, which it kind of looks like they're doing. They're walking out and into T2PD. I hear that strat still. There it is, getting even more damage done, and that is just brutal. I think there was a T2 Pigeon there. Yes, there was. T2 Pigeon and Mix. Caller says our era is totally noob. Throws out the GG because, of course, there's been gaps. There it goes. Oh my word. That's detrimental to every effect, and this bomber still carries on. 38 kills. That's a lot of damage from a single strat. Turns over some T1 AA will be absolutely fine. Goes in a straight line though. Over some flak, still alive. More bombs out. Gonna do some damage, but not gonna complete that because of the shield and residence. And up here it carries on. Looks like he's going a bit of an off map there. That looked fairly deliberate to keep the strat alive, but that's doing a lot of damage. Over on the right hand side we see that poor Taylor Shea has been double teamed here as well. Got further issues. The strat, 41 kills, it gets away. I don't think it's going to circle back around for a bomb here to kill off a pair of mass extractors. Could get these ones. Go. That's a poorly aimed bomb, but nonetheless, kills. 46 now for that guy. He's doing pretty well for himself. Where's it going to pop out next? The answer is, we don't know. There it goes, bombing from off map, and it's going to grab these, all those engineers, all those mass extractors. That is a huge bomb there. 63 kills. 17,000 mass. Let's say that's paid for itself. I reckon it's paid for itself. I reckon it's done alright. Let's be careful though. There are now SAMs up around the place, and ooh, down into the red, and actually gets away. So gets away with 63 kills and 17. Pronounce the name of the bomber. Syntha? That's not that difficult. It's a Syntha. It's one of the easier Seraphim names I've read. There's a torpedo launch going down here, so Taylor Richey wants to keep somebody out of the water. And yeah, I guess a T2 launcher would do alright, but the problem is it can be, it's close enough to the land, it can be spotted by these guys. So Taylor did himself a really good start. He managed to push right up, he got himself sorted, got some units into Razor J's base and absolutely smashed it out, but Razor J got bailed out by his teammates, whilst what has Drumicus been doing? Well, he's got T3 land, so he's not been terribly idle. This is a whole bunch of units being funneled over from Ushi. Indeed, and where's it gone? Where is this over here? Wait. Oh, he repaired it. He repaired the bomber. He wants to keep it alive. Wants to see how many kills he can get off it, I reckon. But, yep, no, it's got 63 kills now, and honestly, it could keep going. Anyway, we have the E2 torpedo launcher here is going to absolutely wreck out that, but now we see the problem. It is mobile missile launchers. Goes off pretty quickly. The air comes over the strat. Bombs along, gets itself another kill. No, it doesn't, because it misses. And, well, as we know, Strat. I'm mucking up my words. T3 strategic bombers, they don't do well on water, because they have much less in the way of area of effect once the bomb lands. But this is a problem. Vipers with hoplites, although we do have Titans back here for Mr. Taylor, so he has got T3. He could look at pushing out Percy's and just wreck face. But having said that, this guy should as well. That bomber's throwing another bomb away. Guts. Friendly fire? Did I just kill some friendly units? This kill count went up. That was a couple of friendly units that knocked. We'll take it. 71 kills. How much more is it going to get? Well, up here, Taylor needs to be a problem. So we now have ASFs rolling in from DMB, so he's been focusing on that, and he might get it here. 71 kills for that bomber. For it finally gets taken down, make that 72 with his final bomb. And that thing was worth its weight in everything. And now we have a land push up here from GLA. Postal Service is coming to deliver a message. That message is, hi, I've got loyalists. And they're going to start shredding everything in attendance. There is a commander here though. Overcharges will help blunt that kind of effect, and T1 units around to absorb some of the fire. On the right hand side, well, Taylor Shane needs to be careful. Stand still for too long, he's going to get Viper fire to the face, and there's a lot of units here that could kill him out pretty quickly. So if I was him, I would be thinking about taking my comm off the front line, because that's a large swarm which could come in very quickly. We know the opponent has T3 air, could throw out strat bombers at any point. I'd get back, I'd build a shield, and I would sit under it. Okay, this attack got pushed back and just left a bit of reclaim here for the commander to grab. Left hand side we see some loyalists moving on past. And move on past they will, because T2PD shooting the ground. Oh, there we go, that one connected. And a lightning tank actually having a go at them. No, lightning tanks will do that. Because why not? It might be anti-air, but you can shoot the ground too, so hey, have a go, be happy. Here, and Taylor is not quite underwater. His head's poking out there, so still targetable by land units. Just to walk that couple of steps further. Right, now let's take up here. There we go. We have loyalists on the right from Shemale as well. So we have T3 on both sides. We have the ranged Vipers doing work. Just killing off units bit by bit. Percival up the front. Yep. That point of defense is going to go down. I don't get the torpedo launcher. It's not going to do much. I was going to kill the mass extractor, I guess. If it's gonna. Don't know. And this middle base has been pretty static for a while, so New Dragon's been happily sitting here. He's built up a bunch of T2 arty, which are going to lob their way over and be a bit of area denial over here. You can see there's a few dead things, but not much doing. Bear with me a moment, folks. Alrighty, see this push on the left is falling back, and the group in the middle, and we see New Dragon is walking back as well. But the right hand side is where the issues currently are. These Vipers are being absolutely annoying. See, this one here has got 8 kills, 2 rank vet on that guy, 9 kills on this one. We have other Vipers around, 5 kills there. We've got Ethys's also in the mix, and those missiles are just being an absolute pain in the buttocks for all these units. Sitting around dying, getting nothing done. So, the question is, what is going on? Drimicus looks like, oh, here we go. There's Yathota. And let's have a look for any other experimentals, because not the only one who's been quiet. There's a fat boy going up for a noob. There is a monkey just about complete for Shemale, actually. That's going to be done very, very shortly. And that's going to be the main problem. We have anything else? Good evening, Foodman. How's your day going? How was your weekend? Are you having a good one? Monkey up for a chorus. Alright. This monkey can go stompy, and it can absolutely wreck things. We see, was this just a run by or a drop or what? I didn't even see how those got there. I'm thinking it must have been a drop. So we can get past these units without being noticed. Either way, they're back here, and they're not succeeding. There it is. Oh, what's a drop? There's the transport. There's the PD the engineer started to build. There's the damage those guys did, and they don't even think they killed a single fusion reactor. Unfortunate. Alright, we mentioned Taylor Shea should drop back. Well, he has now. He's actually got Ravagers. Ravagers are a good response to Vipers. They outrange them. So your T2 missile launchers cannot hang around. Both of these things can shoot them. That monkey, though, is moving on up, and it's not too far away. Question is, where's it going to go, and how far away is that chicken? Because I think they're going to need this. Do they have any idea it's coming? Well, no, they don't, because they do not have Omni. Another call there is to make an ID base to counter Noob Dragon. See, his ID reaches around about there, and trying to make an ID base in range of an existing ID base is not good. It ain't gonna work. Here's a monkey. This is all T1, so it could absolutely just cut a swath through all of these. Absolute devastation. There we go. And look at the kills, just absolutely rack up. How far away is that chicken? Well, it's in the green, so it's not doing too badly. But, monkey Z, monkey kill. I don't know. No, I don't think the monkey's going to reach in time. That's going up pretty damn quick, actually. And as we see, all the units are falling back. Build power is, well, still building. Don't know why you keep building T1 units at this stage, especially with a monkey on your doorstep. Yeah, chicken's going to be done, and that will help out there dramatically. Monkey was also being built over here by Corliss, and that is almost into the green. Do we have any other experimentals? Well, monkey over here from GLA. We have, there's the chicken completed. The fat boy is half done, just to boot. And anything else? No, not there. So, it's all just a monkey. Uh-oh, strats. So, monkey's here, strats here, and Taylor O'Shea is... Oh dear. You need to, like, do anything, buddy. The ASFs are out from DMB. They're trying to assist. We've got the monkey down here, which is trying to kill things, being approached, and Taylor is dodging for all he's worth. He can avoid these bombs if he times it just right. One more strat. Ooh. He dodges quite well and gets away from this guy, so that will be okay. Who's going to go? Picked up by Inti's, but there's another strike coming in. Does he dodge well enough? No, he does not. So that is Taylor O'Shea. He's been picked off by the strats from Emperor Penguin, and this is going to leave a wide open hole on the right hand side, which is difficult to get back into because you've got to approach with this narrow spot here. Dear oh dear. Okay, up here the monkey decided to run the hell away because of chicken. which is not a bad plan because, well, chicken. Now, where did that monkey go from? Well, it's just about done. It is going to be done very shortly. But we have another strat out. I wonder if it's going to go for the chicken as well, which is quite happily killing everything here. That slow moving faceball kills 2 pieces at once. And it goes. I hear the strat, there it is going overhead, so that the Syntha is going for the Yothoto. But it comes in close proximity of a bunch of T1 inties. Does not go down though, the ACFs are the saving grace. Yothoto just keeps on pushing up because why not? Monkey is sitting here, not a good place to sit, especially once this thing gets in range, because this health is just going to drop off dramatically. They have a good go at each other, but we know how this all goes. The Monkey Lord will die, especially when it's focusing on the wrong units. Monkey Doom. Alright, we spoke about the hole on the right, and indeed all these units have pushed in from Shimao, as well as a few supporting ones from Razor J, and that is a problem. Alright, Mercies are out from DMB. I don't know what for. Maybe the monkey? By the way, these Mercies there, they are heavily there. We're going to drop coming in from Razor. He wants to get some of this mess and get his eco back online because, yeah, well, he's been behind for a long time. Down to 70, Ushi himself? What the heck? I thought he'd be more than that. Definitely upgraded everything, although I take that back, he hasn't. Then again, there was that strap bomber that came flying around and killing everything. So, yeah, that's a problem. Noob Dragon needs to move his ACU because if he gets caught, he needed to move his ACU a while ago. That is a very healthy chicken, and it is going to stop the construction of that fat boy. That's going to go down, and if he moves forward, he can go kill a commander. He's at least going to destroy the base, and the Zui's also floating around doing the extra damage flying over. And yep, I don't see Noob Dragon getting out of this. There we have it. The Yothoto's got him, and he is gone from the game. Turn right, go this way. Instead, it's going to stand still and take strap bombers, loyalists, Percival fire, pretty much everything, and this chicken ain't long for the world. Job done though. Clean out the middle, kill a monkey, kill a commander, destroy all the eco. Still there. Oh, more strats. Here we go. One more bomb will do it. And he's got a bunch of strats overhead. He'll be fine. Into the ground. He dies. Okay, on the left hand side we see the monkey coming out from GLA. He finished that and it is on the move. Where did the monkey go from? Oh, there it is. So Corliss has his defending monkey. He's ready to stop that when it turns up. He's in a good spot, but over here is the problem. We have T3 RT lobbing shells over. They're going to start destroying pretty much anything on here as well. We do have a T2 RT, but it's struggling against just all of this. There's just so much there. We've got T2 missile launchers in the row as well, having a go. Does kill off a couple of T3 RT, but won't be too long before that shield goes down. So some shells landing up over here. That's right. These are only T1. Why are you T1 bombers? Why not? Might as well spam some out. Let's drop them on. Get some bombs to get rid of some eco. Job be good. The strats are out and they're killing the ground. I wonder what was there. Whatever it was, they didn't like it. And it's dead. Right, monkey on the left is caught by monkey. Surprise! You thought you were pushing into PD, but you were pushing into monkey. That's going to go down, and it's going to be a mass donation for these guys to pick up and just grab what they will. Alrighty. Lots of strats, though they do taper off. They think the better of going there. And Emperor says, give me bug. Emperor wants the bug. Because, well, he owns air, so why not? Let's actually just check the air count. We have 50 ASF for Emperor. But then again, we do have 10 strap bombers, whilst DMB has himself 20 ASF. So, yeah, this is not looking good for Team 2. That is a lot of air power. ASFs plus the bug, plus the strats. There's a lot of destruction potential, and here we go. Having said that, there are some ASFs over here from Caller, so he's got himself into the air game as well. And these strats, are they making a beeline for DMB? Yes, he is. And here they go. He needs to get under shields. He needs to, ooh, that blinked on just in time, but is it enough? That's a lot of strats coming in. That's a lot of bombs. Does not survive. Does not survive. Not enough air to stop that. He needed more shields. He needed more air. I think he just needed more everything. But now, that was the main air player for Team 2 down, and there's still a bug floating around, ready to do some killing. What do you got in the way of anti-air on the ground? Nothing. Trying to pop up a T3 Pigeon. We have got a lightning tank, and have got a SAM there, so we can tickle some things down, but honestly that's a bug. And you're going to have some issues with the bug. Now we have another that's another bug? That's another bug. So we're going for the air game because hey, why not? And well, it's going to get a bunch of things done, and now Ushi is in trouble because he's out of shields. He ain't got much in the way of anti-air, and there's a bug over here doing its best to kill him, and it's going to succeed. And we say goodbye, Ushi. Good day, my friend. But up here we see that as a push from Yathoto running on up, trying to catch Razor J. It does have a bug overhead which it needs to conveniently ignore. If he can get some locking on that in time, he'll be able to get him down. Just keep walking. Keep walking, keep shooting. Might be able to get Razor J yet. Very close. Just one last shot. Knocks out Rage J at the same time the Yathoto dies, and he is gone from the game. Was this Emperor? Well, how about the chicken? That would probably do it. What happened to that bug? Looks like it died. Sorry, I'm not seeing it in the air. I'm seeing a monkey, seeing another monkey. There a bug corpse somewhere. Somebody spot me a bug corpse. Don't see it. I mean, there's a new bug over there, which is quite healthy happy. That's the one that killed the Yathoto, so it's all good. Yep, I don't see the other one. Anyhow, we've got another monkey pushing up here from GLA, so that's going to have a good time as well. This guy's going to get a lot of work done. Killing off T3 power is a great idea. Killing off the SMD is another good idea. All this build power sitting around here, and the ASFs, what few ASFs Corliss has, so remember he jumped into the air game to try and help out. He's got himself a few ASFs which will help damage this guy, but we'll get a lot more done. Going to take a while to shed the health of that guy, and we have more ASFs rocking in from Emperor Penguin, as well as a bunch of strats which are going to try and find a target. In come the ASFs, they're going to keep the bug alive for just a little bit longer. There are SAMs around, there are some lightning tanks around, so that's going to help take the health down off the Soul Ripper, and in fact it's going to pop out of the air any second now. There we go. There's one dead Soul Ripper. Did a lot of damage though. All that power gone, the mixer's gone, build power gone, SMD gone. So much is absolutely gone. Right. Claim ahoy. Might as well grab the reclaim while you can. Okay. And things went quiet. Alright, let's have a experimental count. Well, we have a crab over here from Shemale. We have one monkey here from GLA and a second crab. GLA and this monkey. That must have gotten so close to killing him, which we completely missed. And amongst all the other action that was going on, so I'm gonna guess that was from Corliss. He got a monkey all the way up to here. It's very close to has to win. Look at his position. It's killing off GLA, and that would have made a massive difference had he managed to pull that off, because that's a whole bunch of eco. That would have been a couple of experimentals down. Oh, there we go. Found the bug. It lived. Actually got out alive. That's all good. Now got left. Going on that pigeon, and maybe Drimicus, who's asking for one. Can you spare it? He needs to rebuild, especially after that little, I say little, it wasn't that little. It was a Soul Ripper, big impact on his base. It's been handed over, so is trying to help out. We see a massive scoutage operation. So they're going to know exactly where Drimicus is, and they're going to know exactly where Corlys is. Crab. It's wandering on up, and this is a monkey in hiding. Well, not really in hiding, they know it's there, but can't do much about it. They have to send their monkey over to try and help out, because that's a lot. Damage incoming from the crab. There's no shields here, they're all turned off. Turn those back on ASAP. You've got the power, damn well do it before all of this just gets shredded for no reason. There we go. Shields are back up. Just to have that extra little bit of protection. Monkey's coming over to say good day, but it's going to get sideswiped by this guy. 1 versus 1 on a crab is never going to work anyway. That was always going to be a tough ask. Gets absolutely crushed. Up here though, these point defense, well, the crab's going to walk forwards, which I feel is a bad idea. I wander into range of all these PD, and they're going to start shooting at it. It's going to start losing some health. Coursiers fly over from Corlys, so he's not giving up. He's trying to take down the monkey if he can. Got a few bricks also backing it up. Right, point defense are focusing well down on that monkey. It's dying pretty darn quickly actually. Down the yellow, Drimicus pops out the GG. His comp is back here trying to run the hell away, because run away he needs to do, but I don't think that's going to be his demise, although the air is nowhere to be seen. It's still back there. Got a crab wrecking his main base. Not going to be able to do much here. The monkey has gone down, and the crab is taking quite a bit of damage. Health is dropping off pretty quickly. But, here come the bombers. Here comes the Soul Ripper. In fact, there's another crab just over here, so... And another crab, so... Wow. Just a crab factory back here. So many crabs. Strap bombers have worked around the angle. They're not approaching the front of all of this. They are swinging around the edge, and they're going to find Drimicus at the back, I think. From their angle, yes they are. Here they come. The air's been distracted. The ASFs are coming to try and intercept, but the bombs are away. Drimicus isn't dodging. Too late. Although he survives. 1,000 health. If he actually survives just that little bit longer, one more strat would have done it. But nonetheless, he is alive. Well, for now. There's a bug. Oh dear. And the front of, well, that's a crab from Corlys actually, so he's going to defend against that crab okay, especially being under shields. So Corlys has to be careful the crab doesn't focus him down, and bug... Well, the bug dies. Oh, that was the injured bug. There's plenty of air around to kill the bug off, and Drimicus is okay. Down here we see crab and crab action, but it is a problem of Corlys getting primaried by the crab, and he's going to go down. Now the only person left is Drimicus himself. Well, he's got problems. Everything variety in a moment. He's got bricks out the back of his base. This crab survives. Another crab in his base there, got a crab in his base there, and a nuke. And he simply picks up his comm in a very damaged transport and wanders over to say good day. He's not going to get there. Kiss is down. So there we go. That's our team game for the night. We've had a few good 1 versus 1s and some interesting items happen out of that. We've seen some sniper boss being completely OP and wrecking face. And to top it off, we final match with a nice 6v6 on Adaptive Millennium. A bit of back and forth, guys dying here, there and everywhere, some close calls. Honestly, they had to win close with the monkey. And down here we saw Mr. who's this guy again? Taylor O'Shea. He almost lived. Very almost lived. Those strat bombers. One final strat actually picked him up. One shield would have kept him alive. A little bit of... He did survive a couple of bombs with some good dodging, but couldn't dodge them all. Dear oh dear. Alright folks, well, I'm having a look at who's online at the moment, and to be honest, the games I'm looking at and the people that are online is not a cause for interest. Especially the games that are being hosted. I see, oh god, the pass, Astro, Gap, Astro, Gap variant, and yeah, it's not doing any of those. So unfortunately, no games are up and live, and the fellas aren't on, so there's going to be no games from me tonight. So simply, we're going to wrap this one up there. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream tonight. Hope the 1v1 action is gone. And yes, Deponio, I will have a look at the game you've linked a little bit later on. I'll add it to the small queue I have of items to check. And hopefully it stands up to casting standards and is a good one to go for. Alrighty folks, once again, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Have yourselves a good day, morning, evening, whatever time zone you're in. Take it easy, take care, and we shall see you again next time.